Wait, what? Oh, yeah, ow. Hello, my gamer words. I hope you're doing well today. Welcome in, everybody. Rational streamer at your service. I was hitting random buttons and being like, why don't they work? Why don't they work? Anyways, hello, welcome in, my favorite gamer words. Everything is fine and dandy. First stream I watched in 2 months and she's already acting retarded. Well, I mean acting retarded. I'm clinically retarded. It's permanent. It's terminal. There's no help. There's no cure. Oh. What is your shelf life in like 5 minutes? Yes, exactly that. I have to remember to turn off toggles. I turn off the P.E.P.E hoodie and stuff like that after stream. Well, I usually don't. I usually fix them before stream, and I forgot to do that. And then yeah. Anyways. This is the natural habitat of them all. Exactly. If you expected anything more from me, then actually you're the one that's retarded. Like, if you, honest to God, expect anything smart and functional and well-meaning and and just normal from me specifically, you are actually retarded. Because you know better than that. I'm just saying. Expect nothing. Still disappointed. Yeah. Wish my doggo was sleeping peacefully until I started talking, so he went out. Give me a second. Every time. I hate kicking him out, right? As I know he does this every single time. But I never want to kick him out when he's sleeping, because he's being cute and sleeping, and I think to myself, hey, you know, maybe this time he'll be okay and he won't be disturbed by my screeching voice. Every single time it's a no. But I don't want to kick him out beforehand, so give me a second. Who actually expected that from the mall? Apparently a couple people in chat. I don't know how. I literally don't know how. But anyway. I'm here. I'm queer. Literally in this case, because we got some trannies on the loose. Today. We have 2 topics today. One is funny, the other one not so funny. But I wasn't planning on talking about the not so funny one because it was a little bit too depressing. But I was like, it's definitely turned into a big thing. But I'll save that one for last, and we'll focus on the funny one first because it's what I made the thumbnail. Because come on, laughing at trannies is my favorite pastime. Also being racist is my favorite pastime, and sexist too. I have so many habits that I like to do. It never gets old. There's a delay between YouTube and Kick. It's like a full 5 seconds. Oh, it's longer than that. And this is the case for everybody, as far as I'm aware, at least. YouTube has about a 15-second delay between stream and not stream. It's the case for Arch. I was watching a Remnant live stream yesterday for a little brief period of time. I know he's relatively new to streaming himself, and he was kind of shocked by it. It's the case for him. But just YouTube in general always has a 15-second delay, which is one of the many reasons, because there are many reasons, why Kick is a superior platform when it comes to live streams, and I highly recommend going over the Kick over YouTube. One, because of the 15-second delay YouTube has. Kick is basically immediate, like literally within like a second. There's like barely any delay at all. 2, Kick has fun little colors. 3, Kick has the fun little, well, I guess technically YouTube members also had the fun little emote thingies, well, nowadays. But you know what, still, Kick is better. Kick is a better player as well for when it comes to live streams. VODs, probably YouTube's a little bit better for the VODs. That's because you can incorporate timestamps to them. if your streamer isn't lazy. But I'm lazy, so they're basically the same. And then for me, the streamer, there's a 95-5 split, so YouTube's not taking no. Speaking of YouTube, you don't have the fact that Kick has got no ads. You don't have to worry about that. And then you don't have YouTube censorship, as it's not as nowhere near as strong as well. You don't have the Indians breathing down your neck. So overall, Kick is quite literally the superior platform, and you should go over the Kick. Please go over the Kick. I'm begging you, please go to Kick. However, I will say, if you do choose to stay on YouTube, I won't force you at gunpoint to assimilate, like the military did in the 60s, but if you do choose to stay on YouTube, please like the video, the VOD. This is gonna sound really fucking gay, but it's been basically confirmed that likes are all that YouTube cares about. YouTube, like, algorithm constantly changes, like, every 6 months, and depends on its mood. And right now, the mood is like buttons. They don't care about subscribers. They don't care about views. They don't care about comments. No, what they care about is likes. Likes are all that matters. Yeah. So apparently I have to start pushing that. Like and subscribe, ring the bell, get those notifications, comment down below for the algorithm. Oh my god. Yeah, that kind of gay shit. That kind of gay shit. You're gonna have to deal with that from me now. I am on Kick, but I had to wait 6 minutes after falling to participate in chat. I'm sorry. I know that kind of sucks, but it's for the bots, because that is one bad thing about Kick, is that they have really bad bots. Twitch also, actually, fun fact about Twitch, Twitch has bad bots as well, but they made, one guy alone made the, God, I forget what it's called, so I haven't used it in forever. Starts with an S. But this one guy made this one specific program. It's that you can incorporate within the Twitch. And it can do a whole bunch of different things, and it also includes blocking the bots. But he worked with Twitch's API to actually do that. Kick hasn't... Nobody's done that for Kick. Nobody, because the thing is, this one guy did it himself because it was a passion project for him. Nobody's actually put the time and effort for Kick's case. We did actually have Kickbot, but then Kickbot kind of stopped working, and I just haven't... I don't know exactly what happened there, I'll be completely honest. And so now it's just easier just to put in followers only mode. And you just kind of have to suffer and wait. And I'm sorry about that, but it's sorry that the bots are gross. Seribot, yes, thank you chat for the refresher of the memory. Seribot, exactly that. Hey guys, Amalgamyte here. Today we're going to talk about Diddy Trones. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Let's get into it. For what I understood, to not be counted as a bot, you need a like plus at least leave one comment in the live. But yeah, stupid shit show as it is. I know about the one comment in the live, but that part of things. I just mostly heard about the likes. But once again, like, YouTube is like a fickle woman, okay? Every 6 months it changes its mind on what it actually cares about. Which is part of the reason why I don't really push for these kind of things, because, like, whatever, right? It's YouTube. Fuck YouTube. But if it's just if it's true that it's really just the like button is all I care about at the moment. The like button's actually relatively easy. You just click it. I've been trying to do it more for people that I've been watching too, just because it's easy. It's just the like button. You don't have to comment, because commenting takes a lot more effort. I'm already subscribed, right? So I don't have to like do the whole song and dance there, or like with the bell. You know, if it's just the like, then it's just like click. It's simple. Disliked and unfollowed. Fuck it. Ah! Understandable. I just cringed so hard my spine ripped out my back. Good. Suffer. The whole point of life is to suffer, and when you watch my streams, then that gets exponentially worse. YouTube had one female CEO and the entire website became female. Yeah, Susan. I don't want to speak ill of the dead. Especially since she died so early, like at 43 years old, if I remember correctly. She was like young 40s. She died, which is a tragedy. However, he was an evil fucking cunt. And also a tiny hat. So my sympathies end basically there. YouTube hates when I lurk. I mean, I personally don't mind. I don't see like how YouTube itself probably hates it. Because lurkers are the big thing. Like, right? Like most people lurk. Like, I don't know the exact ratio, but I would estimate like 80% of people are lurkers, right? Very few people actually comment and the different things like that. And so lurkers are the big bulk. And so you gotta appreciate and love the lurkers. I have special affinity for them because I was a lurker for pretty, like, the whole entire time I was on the internet, more or less. Until I became a streamer myself. But even then, I still lurk. Even within my own community. I, like, scroll the Discord and I look at what people are saying. And different things like that. And I very rarely actually participate myself. There's a strange Jane that died at. I wonder what the real cause was. Well, she died like a couple years ago. So my tinfoil hat that I like to wear is gonna be because of the COVID shot. I wouldn't be surprised if it's because of the COVID shot. Because for dying that young, because she did die a couple years ago. Because I know a lot of people don't realize that because like YouTube is still shit. And it's now run by an Indian CEO, so not like it's much better, right? Because Indians are spiritually women. But yeah, she died a couple years ago. In her young 40s, right? You know, early 40s. I'm just saying, there seems to be a common denominator there when it comes to people that die of that around that age. I keep my playlist as barren as possible, so I make a point never to like videos. See, I used to do the same thing too. But I do that on my alt account. Like, now that I have the streamer account, an Amalgamyte here, doesn't really bother me as much. But I have my alt account to keep clean for whatever it is. The Jibby Jab got a lot of people, and it seems to be activated by stress. Yep. I would not be surprised. Not be surprised. I'm so glad I'm a purebred. I'm so glad I'm a purebred myself. And I can feel a burp forming in my chest. Did it deflate? I think it deflated. Okay, I think we're good in the hood for now. Only purebred in the family myself? I'm so fucking sorry, my dude. I'm like actually genuinely sorry because it's the statistics for the COVID shot are not exactly great. They're not exactly great at all. Do it! Release it! No, I'm not gonna fucking burp right now. Like, I don't burp on purpose, okay? This is not a burping ASMR stream where I go, what? Okay? The burps just kind of happen naturally. Usually when I eat before stream. If I don't eat before stream, they're not as bad. But I ate before stream today because I've been waking up earlier. Because my sleep schedule has reverted to a normal human being since I got back from vacation. I now wake up at a normal time for a regular person. Which is great for the early Friday streams. Because for the early Friday streams, I would oversleep too many of them. And be really tired for them. But now I'm tired for regular streams instead because it's so late in the evening. I gotta figure out some sort of middle ground there. Oh, there's the burp. There it goes again. Release the burp files! There you go. You got us from very small ones. Thank you, the dead. Not the dead. What did I read? Where did I get dead from? I read somebody else's chat where, yes, if stress caused the COVID shot to kill my dad. Wait, if stress caused the COVID shot, the kill, my dad would have been dead long ago. Yeah, I got the dead from your sentence, and I was like, wait, hold on a second. Anyways, I mean, I don't exactly know what's in the COVID shot that specifically kills. I know it's mRNA, which is experimental. I know that with Trump with Project Operation Warp Speed, he skipped the animal testing and went straight to humans, and it got forced out within less than a year. And so we barely even know like the short-term side effects, and much less the long-term, 5, 10, 20 year side effects of it. Uh, uh and I'm sure there's different components with it. I know it also affects your heart and cardiovascular system. That seems to be like the big thing about it, which would make sense where the stress aspect comes in, that part of the theory. But what specifically it is, yeah. Thank you, the Watchman, for the $4.99. First super chat of the YouTube stream. Let's go. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. If we hit the goal, if YouTube bros hit the goal on YouTube, then I'll put the P.E.P.E. hoodie on. One day I will have something more. I have more options for YouTube goals, but that is a work in progress, and it won't be released for probably a few more months. So I have a couple projects working on behind the scenes that I'm very excited about. One should be out within the next couple weeks if everything goes well. We'll see. I'm hoping within the next few weeks. And then like I said, the other one probably be in a few months. So I'm excited for what's going to come in the future. Oh, YouTube goal for you, the burp on command. I can't burp on command, man. Like, I don't even know, like, do I just, like... This is just like this. I'm making a noise out of my mouth. I'm not actually burping. Real vaccines require 5 to 10 year double-blind studies before approved for human use? Yes. Yes, and even then, they have a bunch of side effects that they don't want to talk about. At all. At least, especially when you combine it with, the 70 of them. The fact that kids... within the first 2 years of their life from being born, get 70... God, was it 72? It's like, or 75. It's like 70-some vaccines that they had to get within the first 2 years of their life. With the vast majority of them, like the first 30 to 40 of them being in the first 6 to 9 months. With the 6 months being the worst concoction, that's usually when all of a sudden they have autism. Wow! Magically, 6-month time period, 3 days after they get shot up with something, they magically get autism. I don't know how that fucking works. I don't know how that works, but apparently it does. No, well, you're just a conspiracy theorist. You're just insane. Trust the science. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Just make gagging sounds, those are fine too. Yeah, I'm not a YouTuber. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not a YouTuber. Also, is this the real Captive Dreamer, or did somebody just take his name? I don't think he's a streamer, he's just a Twitter poster. Right? Yeah, this is just a... You are a walking skin suit. Damn. You know what? I respect it. After all, you gotta get your Azat somehow. It's not the real Cat the Dreamer. At least I don't think so. It's just somebody is using him as his skin suit. Or why should it actually be the real Cat the Dreamer? He just has a YouTube account and doesn't actually use. That would be something. But oh well. I'm pressing exit out. Fake cell Captive Dreamer. I used to really like Captive Dreamer until like the past 6 months. He's still pretty good on different aspects of things, but other things he's kind of annoying. He's a little bit too plan trusty for me personally. And I know he would consider me a panikin. But you know what, hey. You can't agree with everybody on everything. So, he still has some good stuff from time to time. So, you know what? I'm now neutral on him. But Zoomer Historian and Mackenzie Tuff are still my favorite Twitter accounts, and I don't see them dying out anytime soon. Amal, that account was made in 2016. But they can change their name, because it's funny you say that, because right above is like, nah, not the real one, trying to piss off academic agent. I'm not gonna get involved with the academic agent versus Captain Dreamer feud that's on Twitter. In that case. But that's fucking hilarious. You're trying to troll academic agent. Because I'm relatively neutral on academic agent as well. Like, he's quite smart. He's quite well read. He's way more knowledgeable than I am, right? But he's got some shit takes from time to time. He's got some cool stuff. And also, he's only half British. He's not actually true British. He should technically be deported. No matter how good and authentic he is and friends with Sargon. At least he used to be friends with Sargon. I think they're still friends, right? He still needs to be deported. After all. Academic agent smart, but he's a bit boomer now. Yeah, that's a good take. That's a good simplistic way to explain academic agent for it. He still needs to be deported. I started sympathizing with Spoon more and more as the play interesting because more and more deranged. Yeah, I like Spoon. Spoon is a good lad. In a way, so we don't agree with everything once again, because like I know this is fascinating. I know this is hard to believe, but you can still like people and be nice to them, even if you don't agree with them on everything. I know that's fucking crazy. No one's ever heard about that ever before. And obviously there's some limitations with it because it's really hard to be friendly with a leftist because they literally want you to die. Literally, they want you to be dead. If all the Twitter posts and memes about Charlie Kirk and everything else in between has ever shown that, I don't know what else to do. I know Arch has spent weeks working on a video that he released recently called the Alt-Right Playbook. Well, it's about the Alt-Right Playbook, which is a video series by a leftist that's heavily beloved by fellow leftists for explaining the evils of the alt-right and everything like that. And it was a pretty well done video. But for me personally, and nothing against Arch, because he did put a lot of effort into it. It's good for other people. It's for to understand. But I listened to it, and I was just like, yeah, I kind of know this stuff. But that's because I guess it's because I also make my own content, though obviously not as well informed as his. But it's, or well informed. Yeah, I guess well informed still works. But I'm not as like well read, right? I don't have that pedigree behind it. But as somebody who doom scrolls on Twitter a bit too much, I'm like, yeah, I know the leftist hates me. I know they want us dead. I mean, like, I always bring up these two examples because they've gotten memory holds. But one was in 2017 when Republicans got shot at a baseball game. Thankfully, no one was killed. But some leftists went to a Republican baseball game and shot at them. And then in 2020, when the left was having Chaz happen in Seattle and Portland, and for those who don't know, Chaz was an autonomous zone that these communists set up in Seattle and Portland, most notably Seattle, but they also had one in Portland, where they just did lefty commie things. They literally took a segment of the city and just kind of propped up little side things on the road. There was lots of murders and rapes, believe it or not. I know. Who would have guessed that an autonomous zone with no police, because they're in the whole fuck the police, you know, all cops are bastards thing, would cause a shit ton of crime overall. And the one in Portland led to a guy wearing a MAGA hat being shot. Well, I guess the guy in the MAGA hat wasn't actually in the Chaz himself, because that'd be suicidal. But still, it was during that heyday when that occurred. And it's just like, yes, they've always been violent. They've always wanted you dead. And they've been actually trying to kill right-leaning people. Not even right-leaning people, like center people, right? Normies, regular everyday citizens. They've been trying to do that for literally years. Even before Trump got elected in 2016. Even before Gamergate. Even before the both Bush administrations. Because Antifa has been around since the early 1900s, technically. They have been openly violent for as long as they've always existed, and it's only gotten worse and worse as time has gone on. And it's like, yes. I was like, wait, hold on a second. How did I start this tangent? I got on a roll there. I was like, wait, what was my original point that led me here? But anyway, because I know it's talking about Arch's alt-right playbook, this takedown, that video that he did. Yes, being able to be friendly with people that you disagree with. That was my original point. My apologies, chat. I just kind of started rambling there. But yeah, it's really hard to be friends with leftists because of that reason. And the ones you can be friends with have been kicked out of the left. They can still believe in like universal basic income. They can still believe in free healthcare. They can still believe in, I guess, like open borders. Though that's a little bit more on the iffy side of things, right? Or like US aid to feed the starving children in Africa that are growing exponentially, where Nigeria has a higher population than the entirety of Europe, including Russia. But if you disagree with the LGBTQA plus alphabet soup, and if you disagree with Black Lives Matter and trans rights, then all of a sudden you're kicked out of the left and you must die. You can kind of be friends with those people because they've been spurned, right? They've been burned by the left themselves, so they're a little bit more reasonable. Little bit is the key word. Still a bit of a risk though. But the left does like to eat their own. And I gotta blow my nose. There we go. There. So, but yeah, some people you can, but for most people, I feel like you should be able to. Like Spoon, you know, I can like people like Academic Agent, or like I should say like I'm neutral on him, right? I'm neutral on most people. I don't actually have really strong positive feelings for most, or negative. It's kind of rare if I do, so if I'm actually like genuine friends with somebody, that's a good sign. Or if I'm like actually really like somebody like Zoomer Historian or Mackenzie Tough on Twitter, right? Like those people are like rare. But when it comes to negatives, well, actually, I was like, wait, I can't actually show my examples of people I find negative because I don't want to start stupid drama over like my personal opinion on these people. But there's a handful of people that I don't personally like. Actually, you know what? An easy target, Chungus. Ian Miles Chungus. That guy, right? Nobody likes Ian Miles Chungus on Twitter. That fucking Indonesian slop account. Fucking hell. Like, every once in a blue moon, he'll post something good, and it's usually just like either repost somebody else's video, but it goes viral, or Elon quotes tweet it, right? And so like that's why I haven't muted him yet, because he actually once in a blue moon does have something. But other than that, he's just a complete Elon cocksucker, and a huge fucking asshole, and Indonesian of some sort of fucking flavor, and just an awful flop account. No one likes him. There we go. That's somebody I can have a negative opinion on that won't cause petty, stupid drama on it, because no one likes him. The best source is my eco-fascist polymath buddy. He's correct on 99% of things. Well, I don't have access to your eco-fascist polymath buddy, so good for you. If they believe in open borders, they will always find something else to blame for the crime wave that they will follow. Yes. I agree with that. But I was just trying to give like an example of things like some like leftist beliefs. Like some of them are far left beliefs. That some people can hold. But because they don't believe in the LGBTQ plus alphabet soup or Black Lives Matter, those two things in particular, then they get kicked out of the left and shunned. And because of that experience of being burnt by the fellow left, usually makes them a little bit more reasonable, as they've realized that the left eats their own, and cancel culture is too extreme. And that kind of leads them down to a certain path, where they even out a little bit. That's my example. The open borders is a little bit too extreme because then you get to the whole brown issue, and they love their pet browns. And you get the whole like the racism crap, and it's just, yeah, yeah. Only Elon likes that slot farmer. Well, Elon likes people sucking his dick, and you know what? I can't blame him. Everyone likes it when you suck your dick. Well, not when you suck your own dick, but everyone likes getting their dick sucked. Okay. It feels great. Don't ask me how I know. And that's why. Yeah. Oh, we got Cat the Dreamer in YouTube chat. It's not the real Cat the Dreamer. You're being deluded. There's no way. Not to mention, I don't think Cat the Dreamer would actually like me. Like, I'm neutral on him, but that's because like I don't. Like I said, it's actually really rare for me to actually dislike somebody or really like somebody. Just because you have to move me in a certain way. You actually have to make me care. In that case. But Cat the Dreamer kind of comes across as an asshole. By kind of, I mean actually a lot of. And I don't think he would like a VTuber woman, a dumb VTuber woman, who he would consider a panickin on some issues, because I don't trust the plan. So I don't actually see the real guy being in my chat. That's the vibe that I get off. And you know what? Hey, that's okay. Not everyone's gonna like me. I mean, that's completely reasonable, right? Like, I have some spicy opinions, but even without the spicy opinions, not everyone's gonna like my personality. Not everyone's gonna like my voice. Not everyone's gonna like my model, right? Or not everyone's gonna like me just because I'm me, and that's fine. That's literally just how it works. Does it suck? Yeah, but it is what it is. Just gotta move on. I'm told it's lovely. Are you talking about your dick? I mean, I hope your dick is lovely for your own sake. Girls getting their bad dragon strap unsucked and they think they know about BJs. Hey, listen. Not that bad. This is the first time subscribed to a VTuber. Hope I don't regret it. I'm pretty sure, because of the 15-second delay, I'm pretty sure you probably have regretted it since I talked about this one guy being finding his own dick lovely. Lovely thing to tune into, obviously. But welcome to the Amalgamation Retard Station. You can tune into any time to find bird sounding, dick sucking, racism, N-words flying like crazy, talking about tiny hats, or more bird sounding. Oh, and don't forget your daily dose of woman hating rants. You know, you never know what you're gonna be hearing here. Like a hummingbird? Oh no, okay, so for those who don't know, I made the typical, like, you know, the classic joke of like, let's look at boobies, chat, right? And I pulled up the bird boobies instead. And I was looking at them, and I realized their beaks are really long and thin, but they taper. And I thought to myself, and when I said I thought to myself, I mean I said on stream, because there is no filter between my thoughts and my words that come out of my mouth. I have two modes. I either think in my head, and my thoughts stay in my head, or I think out loud, and the thoughts do not stay in my head. They just come out. Anyway, in this case, since I'm streaming, the thoughts just come out, because that's how my brain works. And I thought to myself, out loud, wow, that beak would be good for sounding. And then imagine when the beak opens. Imagine when the beak opens. Is somebody... God damn it, someone fall. Oh. You don't have to explain everything to everyone who's new. But I have to. I have to. If you have questions about bird sounding, I can teach you. I can inform you about the wonderful aspects of bird sounding. Don't you want to know? Come on. Oh shit, humble Kriegsman. Jesus fucking Christ. Thank you for the 25 subby puppies over on Kick for all the new people to learn about bird sounding. I guess you're investing into their futures. Yeah. Oh shit, Win Kriegsman. Yeah, for real, for real. Thank you, humble Kriegsman. Absolute Chad. Thank you, my dude. It's as bad as I was thinking. Good. Suffer. He must really like the topic. Yes. We need the funding so more people can go to school for bird sounding. Fuck. Anyways, speaking of bird sounding and wonderful medical procedures, have you considered chopping your dick off? No? Well, you should. You should always consider chopping your dick off. Though in this case, I guess it's more her titties. You know. Who needs titties anyways? Oh. Okay, so there's this Twitter. There's this post that's been going viral on Twitter the past couple days. And it's 6 minutes and 36 seconds of absolute pure glory. Well, I say that, but half the video caused me great anxiety because when people start screaming and yelling, I get very anxious and it's not exactly pleasant. But I get to laugh at 20s, and so therefore it's glorious. A transgender attorney begs for female police officer after getting tackled to the ground before being jailed for contempt. Oklahoma attorney Rob Hopkins. Burp? There we go. Excuse me. Was caught on camera arguing with the judge. I'm a transgender attorney practicing all over the state. The argument continued to escalate before the judge called in officers who then took Hopkins to the ground. Hopkins were heard screaming, "I can't breathe!" and begging for a female officer. Hopkins was reportedly held on a $25,000 bond. I can't breathe. Okay, I watched this video yesterday. We'll watch it again here. But she unironically says, "I can't breathe" for like a minute. And it's like, bitch, you do realize that if you can't breathe, you shouldn't be able to say that you can't breathe. Pulling an actual unironic George Floyd. It's just glorious. Glorious. Okay. Well, let's get this party started. Because women. Women.
Pointed you to the exact paragraph. It's her education.
Stop.
Stop because you don't want to hear
what
the argument is.
Stop. You interrupt me one more time, you are being held in direct contempt of court, and
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
wipe that smirk off.
I don't
your
have a
face.
smirk on my face.
Oh, yes, you
I
do.
do not.
I do not have a smirk on my face. Okay, so keep in mind, there's a transgender attorney. So, female to male. Okay, one thing I will give female to male transgenders credit for, other than being a manlet, being like, 5'3" or whatever they are, they actually can pass quite successfully once they chop their tits off. Like, they grow the facial hair, like they cut their hair short. Because when most women look awful with short hair, and they usually look like boys, especially when they don't actually have makeup on. And so, add in some facial hair to it, the little wavy haircut do, the suit, the lack of titties, especially if they're a little bit on the pudgier side, they kind of do pass as a man. And except for the height, and then the voice comes out, the chipmunk voice, and then also their actions and their words. I do not have a smirk on my face. That's such a woman argument right there. Like, okay, who cares? You're being pedantic for no reason. You're not actually addressing the argument. Once again, a very typical woman move.
I am not going to tolerate this from you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Fill out the request, get the form from our court clerk's office on the second floor, make sure it comports with what you've brought already, get it filed, mailed in, whatever you need to do. Let us assess her request. If it's,
My client's not seen her child. There is no order in this court, and there's been no jurisdiction found that this court has jurisdiction over this child who has never lived in your county.
You just interrupted
Never
me.
lived.
You
I did
just
not.
interrupted.
There was a pause. There was a break. I wasn't done with my argument.
and I was not done with my statement. You interrupted again.
So, I'm not a lawyer. Okay, I'm a dumb woman on the internet. I have no clue what this case is about, other than there's a woman and a child involved, other than, you know, the woman judge and the transgender attorney. So I don't know who's actually technically in the right here, other than this so-called lawyer is being a complete asshole and not helping win her argument at all. At all. Okay? Like, I don't understand why people don't realize this, but being argumentative, yelling and screaming does not actually get your point across. Throwing your phone on the ground does not also help you get your point across. It makes the person that you're arguing with maybe less likely to even try to engage with you. So it's best to just stay calm and cool and clear-headed in this case, and you can tell the judge getting upset too. As well. Which, you know what, a little bit reasonable when you have this screeching manlet in your face.
Do not throw your...
I did not throw. It fell off the bench. Please stop stating things that are not true, ma'am.
Once again, another woman argument. Please stop saying things are not true, ma'am. That's a very much the woman gaslighting thing, where instead of actually, once again, addressing the argument and addressing things with actual, real, solid cases of what's occurring, they just they play the victim and be like, well, that's not true. Okay, well, how is it not true? Like, they're just trying to deflect on whatever the case is. That's all woman mannerisms.
Sir, you've got a room full of witnesses.
I do. I put it down. I did. I put it down and it fell down. I did not fall.
Then settle down.
I'm not upset and I'm not arguing.
I'm
You're
not.
not letting me make an argument.
That's probably my favorite line out of this. Everyone's focusing like I can't breathe and the George Floyd type of stuff. But mine's probably I'm not upset and I'm not arguing. Because it's once again such a woman thing to do, because we all know the best phrase to tell a woman is to calm down, which is exactly what the judge says, and then the lawyer responds with, I'm not actually upset, I don't need to calm down! Oh, no amount of HRT can actually turn this manlet into an actual real man with how this works. It's all womanisms.
I'm not red in the face, ma'am. I'm not.
Stop. Our court reporter cannot get what we're both saying.
I am trying to make my argument. You interrupted my argument halfway through.
This
On
is
an
a panic
objection.
button that will get every available deputy in
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware. It's happened to
You're
me before.
interrupting. It has.
Yes.
Because you're out of line
Yeah,
with courts.
I guess so.
Okay. If I push that
Or maybe
button,
because I'm a transgender attorney practicing all over the state.
I don't know what you are.
You do, ma'am. It's not that you do.
I don't know whether
You do,
you're
ma'am. You
transgender,
do. You
other
do.
than you have just now
No,
advised me,
ma'am,
and
you
that
do.
doesn't have
You do.
anything to do
It's happened
with
when we
anything.
talked on the phone.
I don't know what you are. Because the thing is, going back to how female to male transgenders can actually pass decently well, if I didn't listen to the audio, I would assume this actually is a real man. With this image here, it just looks like an overweight fat man, even from this angle and stuff like that. Obviously, the voice is really annoying, but you could maybe pass it off as like a gay man, too. You know, with the little bit of the shrill that occurs with it, a little bit more high pitch. Because you know that like gay voice that they kind of have, like oh my god, oh, that kind of deal. And then they had to drop down, oh, I'm a transgender.
That wasn't talking, let me tell you. You were entirely inappropriate.
You were yelling
More
at
so
me, and I did
than-
not even know you were the judge.
And I didn't know you from Adam.
I
at
said,
that
my name
point.
is Rob Hopkins. I'm
Which
an
doesn't
attorney
mean
in
anything.
Oklahoma City.
No, sir, you did not.
Okay.
Okay?
There's no one there to know that, right?
Okay, so we are pausing this until you get the ADA request form filled out and it gets processed.
So we're going to pause the hearing on jurisdiction that's been set twice. I drove an hour and a half to have the hearing. My client's available telephonically, and we are simply not even taking testimony.
Is your client available telephonically?
Yes, ma'am.
today?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then get her on the phone.
Thank you.
Your Honor, to which we would object. This is as clear as the nose on my face that this woman will not appear before this court because she has a warrant for stealing.
Objection, hearsay. That
So the actual real male lawyer comes in, very calm. Like you can tell as he's like walking around in the background that he's getting irritated. But even when he starts speaking, he's speaking calmly once again because it's the best way to actually make your point and actually, you know, try to influence somebody. And they're like, Your Honor, I object. This woman is, you know, trying not to come to court. She's got a warrant for stealing. Stealing. Okay, then this is clearly a high class, you know, wonderful woman that this lawyer is defending. Which you know what, I will not hold it against the tranny lawyer just because the whole lawyer's job is to defend your client or advocate for their case, no matter how much of a piece of shit that they actually are, right? So it's not exactly that's literally just their job, but still funny. But then, of course, the troon has to be jacked loudly once again. Even though and cut him off from actually making his case. Oh, shit. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you. I'm gonna butcher your name. I'm so sorry. Kairu Kenojo for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Over on Kick. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you had a good stream. We're talking about the tranny lawyer that had a complete meltdown in court and tried to pull a George Floyd here. So if you like a little bit of spice in your life and you like making fun of people, you're in the right place. If you don't, there's other places to go. Mods, if you could shout them out, that'd be greatly appreciated. And please, thank you.
not true. And you're ready
You
to
will find, sir,
Don't
that you
put
cannot
me
speak
instead
over me.
or shout at me.
I'm not putting it on record.
No, we're stopping.
Get out of my face,
I've been doing
sir.
it for a long
Get out of
time.
my face, sir.
You may step
Get
back.
out of my face.
Once again, another woman fucking argument. They have about, what, a couple feet away from each other? Like, yeah, the lawyer put his hands in his pockets. He's in a more aggressive stance by doing so. So here's some armchair psychology for ya. When people that have open arms, right, they're not cross their arms or anything like that. When they keep their chest open, that usually means they are actually literally more open emotionally. But in this case, so he's actually flaring out his shoulders, so he's actually taking a little bit more of an aggressive. I say aggressive, but it's a strong stance. Where he's making the pose there to assert dominance. But he's not actually in the tranny's face. But once again, another woman argument. Get out of my face, sir! Get out of my face, sir! Get out of my face, sir! 2 feet apart because they ain't gay. And once again, the other lawyer is speaking calmly, and but you can't even hear him because the tranny is just screeching the entire time.
You should leave this county.
Get out of my face.
Get out of my face!
Get out of my
These
face.
people, my friend, you're being ugly.
And get out of my face.
What's very calm? You're being ugly. He's yeah, okay, being ugly is technically insulting, right? But he's handling it quite well. And then you have the banshee screeching.
I'm gonna put your hands behind your back.
Why?
Because you're in direct contempt of court. and that's
He
taking
shouted at me.
He shouted at me. Okay, I mean, you think a lawyer would actually understand the definition of words, since their whole point of their job is to dissect legal jargon and code and try to find gray areas in the law by using the words in favor of their clients? And this manlet literally can't understand the difference between shouting and speaking calmly. The lawyer just being this like, you're being uglier right now and completely unreasonable. That's not shouting. Screaming, get out of my face, sir! Get out of my face, sir!
Jews.
Now that's shouting,
Is it
actually.
Jews?
I think there's a bit of a difference there.
No, I'm not being. You did not even say that I was in
You are
contempt.
in direct.
No, I'm not
Judge,
doing
I
my stuff.
apologize, but I felt very threatened by this person.
No,
Not
put
being
yourself in.
screaming and yelling in court. I've never even heard that before in this courtroom.
Wait.
Do not hurt me. Do not hurt me.
This is another great scene because, like, okay, he gets his arm to put behind the back. The officer didn't even tell him to put his arms behind his back either. Like, he just like he doesn't actually look like he's resisting arrest. But I'm assuming, because once again, this is a tranny, right? It's female to male. Females are significantly weaker than men, and it doesn't actually take a lot much. There's a huge difference. A light touch from a man is actually still quite strong when it comes to a woman. No matter how much injecting testosterone occurs in this manlet's body, it's gonna really change that. And so I'm assuming, other than maybe the overreaction, just because once again it is biologically a woman, right? So there's gonna be overreaction regardless. It was a bit surprising actually feeling that force difference there, and that's why they're like, oh, don't hurt me. Well, don't resist arrest then.
Do not hurt me.
You have to put your arms behind your back.
Do not hurt me.
Your hands behind your back.
Now
Do
you're
not.
resisting
You're
arrest.
throwing me over this.
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting.
Okay.
Throwing me over. Okay, not to interrupt the video, but notice how he says, "Are you throwing me over?" Right? Right? Okay. Look how gentle they were with the whole throwing me over comment, right? You want to see someone a woman being thrown down by an officer? Here you go.
Hey, stay back, stay back.
That's being thrown down, okay? That woman went splat on the concrete there, okay? That's a throwdown right there. This is a love tap, okay? This is a love
Hands behind
tap.
your back.
Do not. You're throwing me over this.
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting.
Okay.
I'm not resisting.
You know exactly what's
Why
happening.
don't you all walk that way sometimes?
I can't walk. I'm being.
Oh shit! We got another raid. Okay. Who has joined us today for the tranny hate today? Nanis? Nanis? Oh, Nanis! Well, thank you for the raid. Thank you. Welcome, raiders. We are laughing at trannies today because we are openly transphobic here. Especially when it comes to screeching banshees that are manlets. So if you liked a little bit of spice, welcome in. Hope you enjoy. But not only the great thing about this is not only do I get to laugh at a tranny, but I'm also laughing at a woman. It's literally double the fun because the tranny is actually biologically a woman. It's amazing.
Is it the
It's like
Jews?
my two
Is it
favorite
the
things combined
Jews?
together.
I'm
Well,
assuming
actually,
it's
if it
always
was
the
a black
Jews.
transgender woman, that would be actually there we go. That would be the trifecta right there. That would be literally the Triforce. But we're pretty fucking close. So thank you again for the raid. Mods, if you could shout her out, that would be greatly appreciated. I hope you had a good stream.
thrown down.
Just stop, settle down, walk that way.
No.
Settle down. Do not grab me. Do not grab me. What are
There we
you
go. Now we get a little bit more force, after resisting arrest for 30 seconds.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You're hurting me.
You're hurting me!
You're resisting me.
Yeah, he just kicked you because you're resisting arrest, and you're still resisting arrest, and you're still freaking the fuck out. Okay, listen, I'm openly racist, okay? And the real reason why a lot of blacks get shot by cops is because they resist arrest. Like, I remember one video I saw a long time ago at this point was a black man had a kid in the car, was resisting arrest, and he refused to get out of the car, and the police officer had to try to drag him to get out of the car, but the man put a pedal to the metal and started just flying, and the police officer was holding onto the car door for dear life, and until eventually, like, he kind of like he fell off a little bit, and the car crashed, including with a kid inside. Okay, yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I'm racist, because there's a huge part of that percentage of the demographics resist arrest, and then they get shot, and then they die. Actually, that's why he got the car crashed, because the police officer had to shoot the guy because the whole, flying with the car door open and everything like that. Of course, when it first happened, it was like, oh, the cops are racist, all cops are bastard, blah, blah, blah. Police footage comes out. Oh, the guy was resisting arrest and flying down the highway with the car door open with the kid in the car. Oh, well, no wonder he got fucking shot. Anyways. Okay, so that's one of the main reasons why I'm racist. There's many reasons. That's one of them. Okay, well, in this case, I'm transphobic, and it's a woman resisting arrest. If you listen, I get cops are not perfect, okay? Especially when it comes with like the city police in particular, like New York City, for example. They're ideologically captured, and they're purposely used in a way to actually harm citizens and help foreigners. So, like, that's how the police can be weaponized against people. And in those cases, yes, I don't really like the police in that aspect of things, but it's not the police themselves. It's like they're like a gun. The police are like a gun. They are a tool. They're supposed to be there for um for protection and utility. But how you use the police makes it either a good thing or a bad thing. But regardless of the case, if you want to keep your life and not get kicked in the stomach, in this case, you don't resist arrest. If it's unfair, which unfortunately a lot of cases are, you still have to go to court and face trial, because that's how the system works. And even the courts are fucked up. So I do understand why some people within the right still want to resist. But 9 times out of 10, the police are just trying to do their jobs, like in this case, or with the guy, the black driver, who crashed his car, right? They're just trying to do their jobs. And resisting arrest puts your body at risk, in this case being kicked in the stomach and having your arms broken, or actually being shot at, in the case of the black driver, which is actually most times the blacks get shot by cops, actually, because they usually do those more violent things. Just don't resist arrest, okay? If you get pulled over or you're in a situation like this, just stay calm, get your hands behind your back, and just get the cuffs and be taken away. It sucks, even if it is unfair, but you're just making a fool of yourself by resisting arrest, and you're not going to get any good favor on your side, and you're putting yourself at risk. Just don't do this. Don't fucking do this. I can't breathe!
I can't breathe! Put your hand behind your back.
I cannot breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
I don't know, chat. Repeatedly saying, I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Kind of makes it sound like you can breathe. The fat cow's being put down.
Somebody call 911!
When I was watching this yesterday, this is the part that really caused my anxiety to spike because of the screaming and the panting and the everything like that. It's so unpleasant to listen to a fat cow being put down like this and resisting it. It's so uncomfortable. The second time around's a bit easier because I know what's happening, and I get to make fun of them for your guys' entertainment. But still, it's just Ugh. Fucking George Floyd had more grace than this. Please! Please! Ow! That hurts my throat.
Somebody call 911! Somebody call 911! Somebody call...
I got your phone now.
I like how he's asking for someone to call 911, but like the cops are right there. I get they're court cops in this case, but like 911's not gonna help you when you're resisting arrests by 911 themselves, the emergency services, the cops.
Alright, we're gonna pick you up. Roll on yourself.
No, I don't. Get a female officer now! Get a female officer now! Get a female officer now!
And now the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, right here. Get a female officer right now. Because keep in mind, this is a tranny. This is a female, 2 male tranny. She chopped her tits off, but she still has a vag. She's pumping herself with testosterone. And now, after being manhandled and beaten down by 4 male officers, now she wants a female officer because her frail little manlet body can't actually handle it. Because once again, women do not understand how strong men are. There is a huge mental disconnect that they occur because they're not used to it. The most they can actually see it is like during sex or something like that. Like, where they get like you get pinned down, you get choked a little, which like all women enjoy. But like that's a very light touch, and it's during sex, so it's like for the kinky aspect of things. Some women go a little bit too crazy on that, but most women don't really like anything too insane. It's just the domination aspect of it. So they never actually understand the real force that men have. And there's been some stories that you can see that you can read online, like either on like Reddit or Twitter, whatever the case is, where a girlfriend like actually really wants to have an of actual fighting chance. They really do think that they can take down in a fight because they learn taekwondo or whatever Asian martial arts that they're doing to protect themselves, right? And they go against their boyfriends and get absolutely felted within like 30 seconds or less. And then they have problems in their relationship because all of a sudden the girl's absolutely terrified of the boyfriend after learning that, because they don't realize how much restraint the man actually has and how easy it is for a man to kill a woman. I'm assuming, since it's a tranny here and a lesbian, because it is once again a female to male, not exactly used to having men apply force in any way, shape, or form until now.
I can't get up, I can't see. He just threw my glasses. I can't see. Give me my glasses. Put them on my face. No.
You don't need to see when you're being carried out by the coppers. They can direct you where you need to go within the cuffs.
Put them on my face, I cannot see.
Go.
Please give me my glasses, I cannot see. I'm not trying to walk and I cannot see. I need my wallet.
Thanks, Robert.
My other favorite part of the video is this ginger woman being like, "Thanks, bro," and then she's like, "Wait, I'm in court. I shouldn't say bro.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys." she is so fed up with the situation that she lets the casual bro slip in court. Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate the assistance. Thanks, bro. Oh wait, thanks, guys. It's a little bit more formal. I'm in court. Honestly, just this is 6 minutes and 37 seconds of just pure gold. Watching a woman and a nut and a tranny on top of it just get completely just owned like this. It's just beautiful. Absolutely fucking beautiful. Ah, but one thing I saw somebody mention when it comes to this video, I think is a good point, is that when men go through puberty, they increase testosterone, right? But it's through a process of years, and usually young teenage men have anger issues. They act out, a bit, and they need a lot more. They need. That's where the father figures really come in to be the rock and put them in their place and teach them how to regulate themselves and their newfound strength as they're going through this growth spurt when it comes to testosterone. And it's a years long process as they go through the whole puberty stage, right? From 12, 13 to 17, 18 more or less within that time period. Well, when you have a biological female, start injecting themselves with testosterone, and testosterone is a hormone that does make you very angry, right? It also usually tries to make you stronger too. But it does heighten your emotions overall, mainly anger, and there's no regulation process over years to adjust to it, and you don't have a father figure in place to also try to teach you how to regulate it, or really or physical output, because once again, men are a lot more physical too. That's where their strength comes into part. They usually go fight and die in wars, or they get into more physical active sports like football and soccer and basketball, right? Or some sort of physical activity where they can actually release this stuff. Well, when you have a biological woman all of a sudden inject herself with this hormone that causes such emotional irregulation, mainly anger, and needs a physical output to be released, with no years long of process of how to regulate it, it does kind of create a little bit of a problem. Just a bit of a problem here. Which I feel like this is a classic example. This is a great example of it being on display. So not only do you have the woman and sensible, emotional regulation that already is default within women because they're more emotional in general, right? But then you also have the testosterone increasing the anger aspect of them, and then being released within court and then being felt by male officers. It's just, yeah, maybe giving them a cocktail of drugs like this is not exactly the wisest move. Whatsoever. It's just a possibility here. Like, why haven't we actually tried? If somebody believes that are transgender, I want an honest to God real answer. Why haven't we tried giving them more hormones that actually apply to their actual real sex? Instead of testosterone, why don't we give them estrogen, right? Like, why haven't we actually tried this stuff? I'm assuming because it's like taboo, because the thing is, real transgenders, because I know this is where some people are going to be a little bit upsetty with me, but real transgenders do exist. There are people out there, far and few between, that have a genuine mental disorder where they actually believe they're the opposite sex. The key is that they're 0.001% of the population, extremely far and few between, and they need extreme assistance for themselves. But chopping their bits off and putting them on a cocktail of drugs is not exactly the solution here. But they're so rare that actually investing the money into how to fix them is not exactly beneficial in that case. So it kind of makes sense why I haven't really properly tried it. But I mean, that seems like the most common, right? That's just should be the logical explanation. If you have more testosterone in yourself, and you're kind of leaning towards a man thing, how about a little bit more estrogen in you instead? Or maybe it's another hormonal problem, right? Because there's obviously something wrong with you. Either God hates you, or there's just something else going on. Instead of just like, yes, have the opposite sex hormones. Then you have no actual proper way to process it because you're not actually biologically that sex. And we're gonna see how this goes. Yeah, that just doesn't make logical sense to me. Doesn't make logical sense to me. That would be hateful? I guess, yeah. Right? Right, that's transphobic. That's transphobic. The vast majority of trannies that exist in the modern age are autogynephiliacs. Which is the male to female transgenders are the main ones there. Where they have an actual sexual fetish where they are obsessed with women so much that they actually want to become the woman because they just really like women basically that much, and they want to be the woman of their dreams, which is why actually a lot of trainees either turn into like their wives, their girlfriend, or ex-lovers that they've been spurned. They kind of like replicate themselves into being that because it's their way of getting off. Or like the euphoria boner. That's one of my favorite things about trainees that you see on like Reddit, for example. The euphoria boner. Is this normal to get a boner when I put on little panties and a bra? Oh yeah, it's totally fine. It's just an euphoria boner. Totally not a fetish at all. Okay. Okay. When it comes to females to males, there is, I forget what it's called, but there's technically a term for the autogynephilia, but the opposite direction for females to males. In this case, but female to male transgenders are extremely rare. Significantly rarer, even when it comes to real trannies. So it definitely, it's harder to judge if it's actually the female version of autogynephilia or the legit actual tranny. My guess it's gonna be the female version of autogynephilia just because this law form in particular is made specifically for family law, adoptions and guardianship, immigration, wills and trust. And I thought I had their logo up. They had a logo. There we go. There's their logo here. This is Hopkins Law Associates PC, an LGBTQ law firm with the little pugs and the rainbow flags. Kind of looks AI, not gonna lie, but I don't really care about the AI aspect of things. Just a little bit ironic because the left usually hates AI. But I like the animals, which is very leftist coded. I mean, everyone loves dogs, but like the certain obsession with animals the left has, like the PETA types, that kind of deal. And of course, the rainbows there, an LGBTQ law firm. I don't know. The whole thing really just seems to me more like the female version of autogynephilia to myself personally. It's not when voice transition, it's because they've been raped and they don't want to be a void anymore. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Though that's not always the case. Thank you, Clarky, for the $5 redos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They should have been sent it to the fugly breeding farm after they had to restrain it. Reminded it still had a womb, if the histrionics didn't already. I don't know if I really want this woman to breed. I'll be completely honest. This woman is literally, actually, legitimately insane if the whole Troon fucking roid rage freakout didn't tell you that. I mean, I guess you could maybe blame it on the, the HRT in this case. But still, I don't want this creature to have more kids. Not to mention, I mean, she looks white, but there seems to be some sort of she's a bit more on the swarthy side of things overall. Like there's some sort of swarthy undertone when it comes to this lady, and I don't really want this creature having kids. No, thank you. There's a better way to handle it. And thank you, Hiking Expedition, for the $5 redos. He's turning into Golem. You know what? I can definitely see that. I'm surprised nobody's made any edits yet. Oh, thank you, Crystals, for the $5 redos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back to the Insanity. Did you have a nice break? I did have a nice vacation. Thank you very much. It was quite nice. I had one of the best pizzas of my entire life. And I realized I'm kind of leaning a bit in my chair, and I can't actually see my mouth movements on my model. I'm sorry about that, chat. I'm just kind of vibing right now. Laughing at the trainees. Oh shit. Delta Cross. Oh, thank you for the 150 fucking shekels over on Ko-Fi. Jesus fucking Christ, my dude. Thank you, Delta Cross. Elbow thank you, thank you, thank you. Though I'm not sure, knowing you, it's probably the message probably isn't as generous, but thank you for the shekels. Chat, do I have the greatest white pill for you today? While miles away, I found a way to get daily premonition to run without crashing on the PC. So now the Great Tar can return to finish her adventure. P.S. Amal, there's option to turn on autosaves, you tard. Listen, I never claimed to be smart. And here's, oh wait. Why is this message private? I'm gonna read your message because I don't understand why it's private, and fuck you, Delta Cross. And here's for your actual white pillow ball. I've also got a way to play GameCube and Wii games on the PC, so now instead I'm putting this towards making you play Wind Waker and maybe Twilight Princess 2 after you. You know what? Delta Cross, I love you. I actually unironically love you. Full homo in this case. A fun for me to play Wind Waker? I would be totally down for that. I want to play Wind Waker so badly. That's like one of my dreams to play on stream. But we have other games to get through first that have been funded. So, if I can actually have an incentive to play Wind Waker on stream, then I am not complaining. Can I put the whole 150 for Wind Waker? I mean, does it really have to have much of a fun because I want to play it? Actually, now that I think about it. It's just the problem is I prioritize games that actually have, funds for the play first because, you guys are throwing money at me to play these kinds of games. And so the games that have, the money towards them should be played, right? It makes logical sense, which is why I kind of figured I probably wouldn't be playing Wind Waker anytime soon. Anyways. It was private to keep it a secret, guitar, so it'd be a chat surprise. Well, too bad. I wanted to talk about it because I love Zelda and I love Wind Waker. Though I'm sure you'll probably punish me for it. But yeah, I will happily add a Wind Waker fun because oh my god, I don't even really want to make it that high because I just want to play the game. But at the same time, I should be reasonable, right? There is a math. There's a calculation in place for how games work. So I will do the calculation to make this fair. I'll probably make it a little bit lower because of my bias. Let's see here. 5-30 hours. It is a long game. Some math. We do some math. I know the Wii U version is a little bit better than the GameCube version. There's an aspect of Wind Waker. There's apparently a pain in it too. Sorry, bear with me, chat. I'm doing the calculation. Wind Waker fun. Okay, so because I want to play it, I'll add a discount to Wind Waker. So we'll make it $750. There we go. There we go. I'll throw your 150 to it because I play the game. It'll be ages till I play it because tomorrow, unless something crazy happens politically, tomorrow I'll be finally starting 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. That has been on the funding block. That actually has been funded for literally months now. Literally months. But we'll start that tomorrow. As long as everything goes smoothly and fine and dandy. Don't forget to carry the 7. There we go. That is quite a thumbnail. Are you talking about the training one? I wanted to use the ACK version of the meme, but I figured YouTube wouldn't be exactly happy with me doing that, so I had to do the slightly safer version of it. Thank you, Clarky, for the $2. Those no worries. The fugly breeding farm babies go straight to the salt mines. The attractive breeding farms are still Earl and the Gartha. Okay, so oh, I have a great idea for the fugly breeding farm babies. We can use those for the endochromes for ourselves, right? Because the elites, right? The tiny little hats, they all use the aborted fetuses for their anachromes, right? And granted, a lot of them are also black babies, so I guess it's at their detriment. But there's still a lot of white babies that get aborted. Like, God, what was the statistic that got released recently on the UK for how many kids have been aborted? It was like a crazy fucking high number, like 100,000 or something like that within a year. I might be pulling that on my ass. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was ridiculously high. But anyway, we can use the fugly breeding farm babies for our anachromes instead. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm just waiting for the dang save act to pass. Okay, so I might be wrong about the save act here, because I've been kind of enjoying the traveling at the tranny here. But last I heard, it failed in the Senate. Like, apparently it just failed in the Senate. Let me look. Actually, you know what? Before I peddle fake news, let me double check that. Has the save? I'm pretty sure it failed. Like, it just got announced. Like, earlier today or something like that. Or maybe that was fake news. There was something that the Senate decided to be like, yeah, no. Recently. Oh, it's still stalled in the Senate? This was earlier today, March 27th. Okay, so no, never mind. Fake news! Fake news! My apologies, chat. Apparently the Save Act is still in the Senate. The vote... Okay, the vote to pass the Department of Homeland Security funding. There we go. There we go. That's what's happening in this case. So the Department of Homeland Security funding has passed, but I know the funding for ICE got shut down. Okay. There we go. Sorry, I got my little thingy majiggers confused. Yeah. That's why you don't get news from an anime woman. It's fine. Fine and dandy. Dune is trying to stop it while looking like he's trying to pass it. That sounds about right. Gotta love rhinos. But enough about rhinos. There's still more to this whole tranny story beyond the video. People on Reddit, no surprise there, it's Reddit, right? They're now making conspiracy theories. They're now also wearing their own tin hat, saying that apparently the judge is in on it. Did you feel like I do? There's something very fishy about that court. Like, the judge sits there watching two lawyers shouting at each other. Two lawyers shouting at each other. Chat, we just watched the 6-minute 37 video. When were the two lawyers shouting at each other? There was like a 30-second time period where the one judge calmly calls him ugly. In this case, as an ugly person. But it wasn't shouting. The banshee was the one screeching in this case. Most of it was actually between the lawyer and the judge, and then saying, I can't breathe, like she's fucking George Floyd. But anyways. At each other, but instantly finds against the one just defending his client. While the prosecutor is threatening with the defense lawyer with, you need to get out of this county. And then before the judge even says anything, the two law enforcement guys just plow straight into him. Defense lawyer absolutely handles this terribly, but the whole thing felt like a setup, and because they didn't get the clients like they were clearly planning, they just all plowed in on the lawyer. 937 likes when this thing was screenshotted. Yeah, did we watch the same video? Because, this is a completely different take for reality. Like, it has the same bases here, right? The two lawyers, the judge, you know, the trainee lawyer being, you know, insane, right? But the rest of the details just don't really add up. Others have pointed out that it's almost certainly set up by the one attorney. Probably a small town good old boy system. Judge is definitely in on it too. Hundreds of upvotes in this case for both of these things. They simply just can't comprehend that, hey, a roided up woman, because that's exactly what this is a roided up woman, on HRT because she's a tranny, just fucking has a complete meltdown and loses her shit. Yeah, and of course she has to defend herself, being like, well, I guess it's just time for me to step away. We got some police cam footage here from their side of things. We might skip a little bit of the police cam footage because it repeats a lot of what's already been shown on the other video.
Alright, we're gonna pick you up. Roll on your
No,
side.
no, I don't. Get a female officer now! Get a female officer now!
Get up.
Get a female officer now!
Alright, Kenny. Get up.
I can't get up, I can't see. He just threw my glasses. I can't see. Give me my glasses. Put them on my face.
No.
Put them on my face, I cannot see.
Get up. Go.
Everyone's just staring at this being like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Please give me my glasses, I cannot see. I'm trying to walk and I cannot see.
We'll walk you.
I need my wallet.
Judge said take him to jail for contempt of court.
And then the file was on.
At this time, it is the right move for me to step away. As many of you all heard, there was an incident that took place in another county, a rural county, and
An incident took place. I also like how she mentions it's a rural county. Just throws that in there, and how she says it too seems a bit much as well. It's another county, a rural county, implying that they are, dare I say, transphobic. Oh my, those backwater, bigoted hicks. How dare they be transphobic to a fucking roided out manlet? Oh, they all need to be arrested and put in concentration camps. I don't make the rules. That's just how it needs to go. This is how it needs to go.
there are more details of that incident, and I can't release that at this time. And being as that, I believe that I first have grounds for discrimination lawsuit there in that county.
Discrimination count. Oh my god. Discrimination from what? Being a complete retard? Like, any sane judge and jury, which honestly, to be fair, these days are very hard to come by, it seems. With Kyle Rittenhouse, Daniel Penny. I know Daniel Penny was able to walk free, thank God. And same with Kyle Rittenhouse, but that took fucking forever, right? But Derek Chauvin got completely that was 100% a mistrial. Callum, when he was part of the Lotus Eaters, he did multiple segments actually breaking down the trial of Derek Chauvin. And for those who don't know, that's the copper who arrested George Floyd and put the knee on the neck. By the way, it wasn't on his neck, it was on his shoulder blades. Anyways, in that case. And then there's been other cases, right, where you see it all the time, where some black man murders and or rapes a white woman, because it's always a white woman that they do it to. And then they get let go because if their IQ is too low or they have mental insanity, that kind of deal, right? So maybe this Troon can possibly get some luck with a judge and jury for our discrimination case. But at the same time, if you just watch the fucking video, like, she's acting completely out of control. She's resisting arrest. Still acts completely out of control, too. Contempt of court. Like, unfortunately, judge has the end-all, be-all when it comes to how courts works. And so the judge feels like you're contempt of court. They have the complete right to throw you out. That's exactly what she did.
And, but for my physical safety at this time, it's best that I step away. And for my family's physical safety, it's best that I step away. And for all of you wondering if I'm moving, I'm not moving. I'm from South Texas. I can't live in one of those states like Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Minnesota. I wasn't built for that. So I'm not going to leave the great state of Oklahoma. I will work, and people are, well, what are you going to do now, Rob? You know, I'll let you know, but like I've told everybody, I know that I am created in his image. I know that there is a bigger plan for me.
This bitch. This bitch has the audacity to invoke the name of God? Wait. Hold on. Wait a second. What? Okay. He has a bigger plan for me. Oh, okay. I don't think God has anything for you other than a bridge. A 41%. That's not how it works. Your law firm is specifically for LGBTQ and immigration, which I didn't bring this up earlier, but this is one of these law firms. When they say they focus on immigration, these are the law firms that help illegals become illegals. By expediting their visas and finding the ins and outs and working with NGOs to help these people become legal so they can further scam the system. They openly work with illegals to get them through the border and avoid ICE and other border controls in general. This person's actively evil. I mean, we had the whole trainee thing. At least you can kind of shut that down the mental illness. But even the cases for their clients are all like LGBTQ focused. And they have the audacity to bring in God into this stuff? I don't think God would appreciate any of this kind of deal. Like, Jesus Christ. Literally in this case.
I know that I will always land on my feet, and whatever I have to do is to make ends meet and to survive out there, I will. For all of you worried about my mental health, thank you so much. I appreciate those thoughts and prayers and good wishes and good vibes. I've got a team of wonderful doctors. You can't go through what I can, both medically and psychologically, without being medically cleared.
I think we need to have a check on those doctors then, because clearly you still need assistance. I don't think you have good doctors if they let you go through, frankly. I mean, I'm half joking, but I'm also serious because so many of these doctors are advocates, right? That they either have the propaganda instilled within them and actually have the motivation that way, or, and honestly, this is more likely, they had the financial benefit of this, because the great thing about Troons is that they're patients for life. They are terminal. If you become a transgender, you are permanently stuck on medication for the rest of your life. You take testosterone, you have to continue taking testosterone for the rest of your life. Same with estrogen. You kill your own production of your natural hormones by taking artificial ones. It's actually a problem that guys have when they take steroids for too long and too much of it. Same fucking issue there. Your body just stops actually producing its own natural hormones. And so you get fucked that way for life. If you get surgeries, you have to deal with the medications there to stop infections and pain. In the case of chopping your tits off, it's really not that bad. But if you're a man and you chop your dick off, well, that's good luck there. You're not gonna be able to shit or piss, and you're gonna be living with a diaper and with immense pain. Like, there are some actual literal horror stories of male to female transgenders that have gotten the bottom surgery, and it's just absolutely revolting the situations that they're in, because there's no actual proper way to turn a penis into a vagina, and vice versa. In that case. And then you have to constantly get your psyche valves checked to make sure you're not going to become a 41%. That usually fails because 41% is a large number after all. And you're stuck that way for literally the rest of your life. So there's a lot of monetary incentive for doctors and hospitals to do this stuff. It's quite despicable and horrifying when you actually think about it. So it doesn't really mean anything when she says, "Oh, well, the doctors checked me out and everything's fine. That's how I was able to get in the profession in the first place." No, it doesn't mean anything. There are so many of them have allowed such horrific things to occur just because. Then there's in their incentive monetarily, and it's popular culture to do so. Why not? I have no sympathy for anyone so weak-minded as to just do such a thing. No amount of "they tricked me" excuses it. I would say I do have I do excuse and sympathize with teenagers. Because other than like autogynephilia that we talked about earlier in the female version of it, teenagers often get groomed by these people because people they can't actually naturally reproduce. These people don't naturally reproduce. They don't have kids. And so what they do instead is they have to take other people's kids and groom them via egg cracking and and do it that way. Which for those who don't know, egg cracking is the terminology they use for the grooming process. So they say that it's not actually that. They say it's not grooming. It's coming out of your shell. That's what it's supposed to mean. Egg cracking. You take this little chick that hasn't been born yet, right? They don't actually know they're really transgender, and you crack their egg to help them get out of their shell because they're struggling to get out of it. And then they bloom into a beautiful, cute little chicklet, right? Yeah, it's just grooming. It's just grooming by the nicer words in this case. And that's what they do with teenagers. A lot of transition and regret stories happen with teenagers that are going through puberty because teenagers are very vulnerable in the modern age. They don't have the structure that they used to have even 100 years ago. 100 years ago, a girl was expected to know how to clean, to cook, to knit, and other homebody skills, and had been taking care of their siblings and other kids. And they're going through puberty and practicing those skills so they could be married off when they turn 18 within that time period. And they had that structure that way. Men had the jobs they had to go to. A lot of them were like paper boys when they were 10 to 12 years old. They go into their father's business, they learn a trade, they're going to school, some sort of aspect of those things to help keep their structure there and lead them to a path in life that way. And then they also would in turn get married and have kids and restart the cycle. That was the case for normal human history, for the entirety of human history, especially in the Western world, for hundreds of thousands of years, right? But now we get into the modern age, and we have the internet. There's no purpose in life. No one's religious anymore, which that technically includes me as well, but I'm a leech, so it's okay. And they're listless. You go to college and you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for a useless degree there you can't get a job. You get replaced by Indian. Or you get raped and murdered by a black man. Like there's like no matter what you do, you still can't afford a house and kids because everything's so much more expensive because you keep on importing 50,000 foreigners a year and shit like that, right? Like there's really no structure, there's very little incentive in life. And teenagers look at this, and while some of them might not fully understand as to why, they do see how bleak the future is, and they think to themselves, okay, I don't really want to deal with this. And they're also going through puberty, which puberty, once again, is about emotional regulation. Your body's pumping you full of whatever hormones you have, in women's case estrogen, and men's testosterone. And part of puberty is learning how to regulate that stuff, which is why a lot of teenagers actually have depression, because between the lack of structure and the hormonal changes, it really just fucks with their body chemistry there. And so then they go online, they see all the problems in the world, they're upset, they're depressed, their family life's in shambles because divorce rates are astronomical, and they meet somebody online, and they think, and they're told, you know what the solution to your problem is? You need to be the opposite sex. That's how it is. That's how the solution to your problem. You're just in the wrong body. That's all. And then they start grooming them, or in their case, what they like to say, egg cracking, and then turn them into troons that way. And unfortunately, if they have horrible parents, or if the state gets involved, they they transition at 16, or at least under 18 in general. Sometimes they get their tits chopped off, or other different problems done to them. And most of the cases, actually, the women, a lot of, like, obviously there's a lot of male to female transgenders that happen with the egg cracking case. Like Tyler Robinson, the guy who assassinated Charlie Kirk. He himself wasn't transgender, but he had a transgender boyfriend and was taking part a lot in the transgender stuff during that case. But a lot of this stuff is like women who would get easily groomed in this case, because they're feeling comfortable in their bodies as their boobs grow and their asses grow, and they get male attention too. And they're just very easy targets. But then they get older, they turn 20, their life gets a bit more in line, they have autonomy, they leave the house. Things still aren't great financially, but they're on their own now, puberty's over, and they realize, wait, I'm not actually trans. Well, a lot of cases, the damage is done. For the woman's case, their voice gets deeper, they have permanent facial hair even if they do stop the testosterone, their tits have been chopped off. They can technically get surgery for the implants, but it's still not the same, right? And they're in this weird amalgamation, and not the fun amalgamation like this, where there's some sort of, like, golem, some sort of goblin creature in this case. Men don't have it as, I don't know. You could maybe make the argument that men don't have it as bad because woman's whole thing is to be attractive, and if they're not attractive, it kind of kills all their prospects. Versus men can kind of, they're based off utility, not attractiveness. So there's a little bit of going back from that in their case. But if they have any surgeries themselves, like cutting their dick off, well, definitely fucked for life there. And you still have side effects from taking estrogen. Your bones get brittler, your voice lightens, different things like that. And for those people that have transition regret, that were trans as teenagers, I do feel bad for them, because a lot of cases they were groomed and come from broken households that made them very vulnerable. Which unfortunately is actually a lot of transgenders today because of the phase. I mean, we did see a spike in it in 2020 when COVID shut everything down stupidly and everybody was terminally online. Makes it very vulnerable when you have all these kids that are permanently online. Don't go outside. The world is burning because of COVID. And you see a huge spike because of that. I do feel bad for those people. Or people like Finster. The case of Finster is fascinating to me. I bring him up every single time we talk about trannies, because his case is just horrifying, but very, very prominent. I almost feel bad for him, but he still was a grown-ass adult. I think he was like 19, and that's still, I'm sorry, you're legally adult at that point. You're gonna have to deal with the consequences in this case. But it's still horrifying, because the case of Finster, for those who don't know, he was a Minecraft streamer that got really popular during 2020 with the COVID shutdown situation. And his chat started paying him to cross-dress, because he actually passes decently well as a woman. And his chat, and the more he did it, the more his chat would actually pay him to cross-dress. So his whole thing was literally cross-dressing. And he literally got groomed by his chat to be turned to transgender. From going from a haha cross-dressing funny joke where the maid outfit to full-on tranny, and now he's actually invested into a transgender foundation in Britain. And it just, it's a horrifying story, being groomed by your chat like that, but grown-ass man, technically, like, I think he was like 19 years old when it started. Sympathy, it only goes so much. 19 is not an adult, brain's not fully online until about 25. See? Okay, there's two people saying that in chat. I'm sorry. I don't care. I say I don't care because I've heard that a million times, right? And so there might be some truth in there, but it doesn't matter to me when the male brain is fully functional by 25, okay? Like, men were dying and fighting at war when they're 15, 16 years old up until recently in history. Like, until the past 60 years. There has been a massive shift in the infantilization of society. I know I ranted about this so much on stream, so sorry for looping in this case. But this is such a big issue to me that I'm going to have to do it since you guys are bringing up the whole, oh, it doesn't stop developing until 25. Suck my fucking cock! I don't care. Because, like, men were going and learning trades by 8 years old and taking over their father's trades and working in the forges when they're like 15. Oh, so I don't care if it's 25. You can still actually be a reasonable, functional human being when you're 15. And the fact that we actually have a society that has infantilized both men and women in this case, to the point where now you have people screeching online that she was 28 years, that she's 20 years old and the man's 28 years old, and it's literally pedophilia this way because she's such a child, is absolute bullshit. Like, for example, I've been reading very slowly a bit a biography about President Grant. And the guy, when he was 8 years old, he would ride for 200 miles delivering passengers in his carriages. Now, he was a bit exceptional when it comes to horses in general, but it was still completely normal for a kid to be able to be autonomous on his own at 8 years old and be responsible to be able to drive a horse 200 miles to deliver passengers to help make money that way. He was already expected to help take over his father's business, and he actually fought with his father a lot because he hated leathering and tanning, because he hated the slaughter of animals. And so his father was actually, accepted that and had to, find a different path for him in this case. And then he was sent to West Point. And when he was sent to West Point at, age 15, 16, somewhere in that time period, which is a military academy, and he was on the older end of boys being sent to the military academy because they normally get there when they're 12. This is complete bullshit as a society that we have allowed our teenagers to just be literally kids when they're adults. Women are able to have kids when they're 16 years old. Now, I'm not saying, somebody's going to take this out of context, but I'm not saying 16-year-olds should have kids, but there's a reason fucking why teenage pregnancy was a huge fucking problem. And there's a reason why teenagers have sex. Or at least they used to have sex before, internet and modern dating has ruined everything. In this case. Because biologically, they are wired from ages 16 years old to about 30 to produce kids. That's just how it works. Men, in this case, they're able to have kids from 16 to the day they fucking die because they're just meant to reproduce like rabbits. We have allowed as a society to just try to prolong our youth as long as possible. And evolution has not kept up with it in any way, shape, or form. Yes, we've expanded lifespans so that people die when they're 80s and 90s now. And that's a good thing. However, evolutionary has not kept up with it. Biologically, we're still wired to breed and live and die when we're 40. It's just how it is. Evolution takes hundreds of thousands of years to make very small changes that all add up into the big ones. Just how it fucking works in this case. And as a society, we're literally dumbing down our kids by force to try to basically create the evolution ourselves. And it's only been a massive detriment to us instead. We should not be weakening our kids and our future for the sake of, they're just a child. They're just an 18-year-old child. Okay, I don't care. Legally, they're an adult. Legally, at 18, they're adult. That is the line that we've drawn. I'm not advocating for lowering it, and I'm definitely not advocating for raising it, because raising is even more retarded in my personal opinion. We drew the line at 18. Great. You can go and fight and die in a war at 18 years old. You can drive at 16. And what I find really retarded is the fact that you can't smoke until you're 21. You can't rent a car until you're 25. Those arbitrary rules, no, we need to have all of them all of them at one set age. Though driving, I'm okay with being younger because driving's a skill that you have to learn, and that's something you need as an adult. So learning from an earlier age is actually a good thing. But for everything else, if you can fight and die for your country, and you can vote for your country at the same time at 18, everything else should also still be fucking 18, except the driving portion of things, okay? That's the line we decided. We're gonna fucking keep it. I don't want to hear anything about mental ages evolving till they're 25 years old, okay? People are competent. If you give a man some tools, they can do fucking shit. There was this video I saw, and I don't think it was AI, though I will admit, these days AI has expanded so much that it is getting harder to tell. There's a video I saw a while ago now, of like this 10-year-old boy just playing on the computer, and is making a whole fucking program just because he was bored. Boys just want to create and do things. Just let them be free. Stop putting them on Ritalin and other things. And they can actually build shit. They can do stuff with their life. Ugh, I fucking hate the infantilization of society. It's created such weak, awful men. Anyway, sorry. It's something I'm really passionate about because it's gotten worse throughout the decades. I've literally seen it happen in real time, and I felt the effects of it myself. And as somebody who used to consider herself a history nerd, which I know this sounds funny, seeing that I know nothing about history, believe it or not, when I was in high school, I was the history nerd because my peers were so disinterested in history themselves. I knew a lot more than them. I just never kept up with it or tried to expand upon it. This is a different story, though. And just looking back and seeing the monumental feats that our ancestors were able to do at 15 years old. Like, for fuck's sakes, like, right? Wasn't it Augustus? Okay, this is where my failing history is gonna come in. You can mock at me and laugh at me at that. But didn't it, like, Augustus, like, go over the mountains with the elephants at, like, 15 or something like that? It's one of the Roman leaders that did that fucking shit at 15! Come on, that was only 2,000 years ago. That's nothing in fucking evolution. Just, Sorry, this makes me mad. This makes me fucking mad. Ugh. Thank you, Big Helio, for the $5 reduce. Thank you for that. Elephants in the mountains. He crossed the Indian mountains to invade India or something like that, okay? One of the history nerds know what I'm fucking talking about, because I'm a fake history nerd myself. Hannibal, there we go. See, there we go. Thank you, Big Helio, for the $5 weedles. Have you seen the quadruple amputee somehow murder someone while driving? I have not, but that sounds impossible. Augustus Gloop. Oh, nope. Augustus was doing something else? Okay. Listen, I got my Roman fucking leaders all confused, okay? Once again, I know the boys obsessed over Rome and World War II, okay? I've always been fascinated with the 60s, personally myself, and civil rights. I can tell you about Lyndon B. Johnson. I could spend 10 minutes talking about Lyndon B. Johnson. I even wrote a whole report on it for my AP, language class, I believe. I think it was my AP language class. I hold a whole fucking like 5-page report on Lyndon B. Johnson and how he was misunderstood. We don't talk about that because I used to actually like Lyndon B. Johnson a lot. Thank you guys to the dorks for the $5 reduce. Not gonna lie, the only aspect of cross-dress that seems good is a skirt that wouldn't squeeze the meat and veggies. That's why I want to kill Fallout Equestria. You're gay. Anyways. I'll add your $5 reduce to Fallout Equestria then. Tell me about James K. Polk now? I can't tell you about James K. Polk. I know about him. I recognize his name. I know he's one of the presidents. But I can't remember what time period he was president for. Which makes me feel... I think I still have my notebook from my AP US History. Because I like to keep my notebooks from school. Because they usually have a bunch of good information on it. But I would have to dig. Actually, you know what? I think I know. What? Do I go look for it now? I kind of want to go look for it now. It's kind of buried though, if it's in location, I think. You know what? You know what? It's like, okay, give me a second, chat. Give me a second, chat. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find my A-push notebook here. Right. This is buried under so much crap, it's not even funny. That's heavy. Oh, shit. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Here's my suicide note. That's I have notebooks. Some of them are new. They're huh? Hey, I found my AP Psych notebook. Does that count? Oh, let's see here. Unit 14. Why does it start on Unit 14? Oh, look, there's all my shitty art that I drew in the corners while I was not looking for AP Psych. I was looking for AP US History. Looking at my AP. Because I found my French notebook. I found my side notebook. Found my old art. This German? This is my German notebook. Oh, with more shitty art. Jesus Christ. Okay. Then let's see. Oh, I found my 7th grade science. Oh my god, that's really bad art. Jesus Christ. I kept my 7th grade science one because I had a lot of fun science videos I thought were... Oh my god, the art is abysmal though. Phase changes? But atoms, okay? Look. Papyrus! Oh, from Undertale. Oh, Papyrus from Undertale. Oh, brings me back. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. I need to stop getting distracted. Well, now we have to see it? No. No, I'm not showing my fucking shitty art. It's all homestuck in Undertale for the science notebook. If I don't actually have my US history notebook, I'm gonna be actually kind of upset. Statistics one? Scientific approach to politics. Oh, this is my political science. Okay. Not that one. Game. Good. Art. My fit college. It is. For how to presentation. Is all my college notebooks then? Oracle. Oh my god, it's Enlightenment. French Revolution. This is not my cyclone, but this is some sort of history thing. Not maybe psych. Still looking. Or bad art. I think I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna give up here. This is a hot mess and a half. I mean a hot mess and a half. I mean this is actually a kind of a big mess I'm gonna have to take care of after a stream that I kind of got myself into. Whoever brought up President Poe can go suck my dick. And then kill yourself and join the 41% in Minecraft for obvious reasons. For legal reasons, since I'm also the tranny lawyer in this case. Yeah. Talk about a fucking tangent, am I right? Anyways. Let me throw this mess back into the box. That was literally... box. Give up before you hurt yourself. Oh, the damage is already done. Woo. Lie routine, keep it mementos and hoarding. Okay, listen. I try not to hoard because my mom was a hoarder. But I do find notebooks. Because the thing is, I was, unfortunately, a straight A student. I took honors in AP classes. I tried my best to be a good little guy, okay? And, I kept my notebooks for the classes that I thought were interesting and useful because I actually like having the information. I liked school. I liked taking notes. I like collecting information. I like learning in general. I actually want to become believe it or not, I actually wanted to become a college professor teaching history at one point in time. So I do find those things useful. Plus, when it comes to the shitty art, even though it is shitty art, it is nice to see progress too. So basically, I just have this gigantic tote filled with notebooks. Some of them use, some of them not, and art. Yeah. I hoard, but at least I'm organized. My tote's kind of organized. Well, not so much anymore, but we don't talk about that here. Thank you, Serathis, for the... I don't know what that is in foreign currency, so I'm just gonna say $5 dues because that's what the color is. Instead of a shock thigh band, what about a choker that tightens little when you get a super chat? With safeties, of course. No David Carradine. Fortunately, that would kill me if I did that, or else I probably would because it sounds kinky. Grotsky just got off, I can see. Oh, there we go. I did it just for you, Grotsky. Just for you. Speaking of Grotsky, grind troons into fertilizer to feed Aryan breeding camps? Camps. There we go. I cut off there. Thank you for the 50 fucking shekels. There you go. The burp for the shekels. There. We should treat the Jewish doctors who give people HRT and do sex change surgeries worse than how the ancient Aryans treated their enemies. FNAF Goy Fund. For legal reasons, I will disagree. Also, with the FNAF boyfriend, I also disagree with that for reasons. For legal reasons. There. Krusky having to clean a bunch of sticky white fluid off his monitor right now. True and real. I'm just imagining Actually, I should not have that in my image. Never mind. Moving on. Anyways. There, I got completely sidetracked there. Oh! Okay, the finish off the trainee lawyer, because I got so sidetracked there. Apparently this is what the trainee looked like as a woman. And I have to say, she looks better as a man. Mostly because she's fat. And if women just lose weight, they actually are pretty. Like, women are supposed to be the attractive sex. They're supposed to be pretty. Very few women are actually hit with the ugly stick. Right? A vast majority of them are mid. And it's okay to be mid. That means you're average after all. Very few women are actually like drop dead gorgeous. But even less are actually ugly. So if she actually lost weight and didn't have the short hair, then maybe she could be okay. But as of based off that picture, she looks better as a man. Yeah. Not great here. Oh, I don't want to get linked in there. I already showed this stuff off there. Oh, we salute all our veterans. It's nice that they actually put the American flag first and foremost, but we got the Nazi gay flag and we got the Troon flag. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's so many gay and transgender veterans that exist out there. Once again, immigration lawyer helps with the fucking green card bullshit. Though apparently they shut down, actually. She left the company, and if you actually click on the website here, it just shows 404 page not found. So, yeah, maybe not having a crash out in court and then becoming a public humiliation fetish and, you know, that kind of deal would help you a lot. Would help you a lot, actually. Anyways. Well, moving on to something not as pleasant, not as funny. Actually quite a bit serious. Suicide is the answer. Actually, I realized I probably shouldn't leave that for clippable purposes or anything like that, because YouTube might not like me saying that with deadpan. Suicide is not the answer. Reach out. God, this sounds so fucking performative. But it's technically true. It's technically true. Right? If you are facing hard times and you're considering ending your life, reach out to your friends and family and actually try to talk to them, because suicide is bad. I have to say that. I feel like it's obvious, but you know, it's not even obvious. Okay, I probably shouldn't be struggling to make this statement so much, but I feel like whenever a content creator or somebody or like the TV ad says this kind of stuff, it's all performative, right? It's all scripted. It's all just like, you know, oh, we don't want you to die. Suicide is bad. Oh, we totally care about you. Oh, you know. But it's so fake. They don't actually care about you. They don't know who the fuck you are. They don't care if you die. People die every single fucking day. Whether that be drug overdoses, car crashes, heart attacks, or age. Right? They don't actually fucking care. In this case. And so, like, it's all very scripted and performative whenever someone's like, oh, don't commit suicide, it'd be a tragedy. And it is a tragedy, right? You shouldn't commit suicide, but trying to do the whole song and dance of like, don't commit suicide just always feels so fake to me, and I just hate doing it, right? I'd rather just make jokes about suicide and like, you know, the 41% and that kind of deal. And then when it comes to the actual real cases of suicide, be a lot more serious about it. I don't know, but that's just might be just a me thing. This might be a me thing here. For legal reasons, please don't die. Yes. Fucking hell. Anyway, so besides the whole PSA of don't commit suicide, there is a lady in Spain who has committed suicide. She did it yesterday. But she was the first person to receive euthanasia for depression in Spain. The cause, no one will tell you. In 2022, Noella suffered a multiple rape in a supervised care center. This completely shattered her life, leading to a failed suicide attempt that left her paraplegic. The system has failed her, and now she offers euthanasia as a remedy. It gets a little bit worse than that. She was raped by 11 immigrants over several days. The socialist Spanish state of Pedro Sanchez separated her from her family and placed her in a temporary foster home. As I understand it, her parents are going through a highly contentious divorce, and authorities decided to remove her until it was resolved who would get custody, her mother or her father. However, she was raped by 11 people in her group, multiple times, and over several days. According to the scant information available, the attackers were immigrants from the Middle East who also resided in that same foster home. As far as is known, they were tried as minors at the time, so they received a minimal sentence without deportation and their identities were protected. In contrast to her, the socialist Spanish government of Pedro Sanchez proposed assisted euthanasia and she accepted it. While both her father and her mother opposed this and sued the socialist government for it, a lawsuit that they ultimately lost. Noella Castillo was murdered today by the Spanish left by Pedro Sanchez by the PSOE. And that was yesterday that she received euthanasia. But it's been the talk of Twitter for the past couple days because here's a girl, 25 years old, was raped when she is about 21 roughly, by 11 men from very doctors and engineers, obviously, typical subjects, and she had a failed suicide attempt that left her paraplegic. And instead of actually prosecuting the rapists properly, giving them the death sentence, the death penalty, right? Because deportations are the moderate solution. Unironically, they are. One, I personally advocate for the death penalty for illegals because you're breaking a federal law and invading a country. If you come in illegally, you're actively invading a country, you are a foreign influence, you should get shot on site like Poland. Unironically. Right? But then you have people who come here illegally, and especially in case of Europe, and then they go to these asylum centers or supervised care centers, and in this case, and they get free handouts because they're all humans and people too. They're asylum seekers after all, fleeing war from non-war-torn countries, and they're all middle-aged or fighting-age men, and they no women or children. But anyway, besides that point, besides the doctors and engineers in that case, and they just get the free handouts there, and then they rape. And deportation are the moderate solutions. One, you came here illegally, you should get shot first for that. But then you commit crimes, serious crimes, theft, rape, murder. Yeah, no, you should just get not even bother with Russian roulette. It's gonna be every single chamber is being completely filled, and you'll get the whole chamber loaded out on you. And for every single one of them, all 11 of them should get a full chamber blasted, in my personal opinion. But no, that's not what happened. They get charged for minors, they got minimal sentences, and instead of them being punished for committing the rape in the first place, no, the girl who got raped and failed to commit suicide, no, she's gonna get the euthanasia and lose the case. Her parents lose the case against her. Not. Wanna know why? Because the hospital was pressured for euthanasia because her organs were already committed. She lost the case. Her parents lost the case of trying to prevent her from getting euthanasia because her organs were already committed for other patients. All I'm saying, chat, is that don't be on the organ donor list. Though apparently it doesn't really do much of anything these days. They still try to donate your organs anyways. But if you're on the organ donor list, you're literally committing suicide at that point. Because there's been already horror stories of people coming in from accidents, and they're in like coma or something like that, and they start like trying to take the organs out of people who are still alive until like the person starts freaking out on the table. They're like, oh shit, well he's struggling a little bit too much, I guess we can't go through with it now. just get taken off the organ donor list. You're actively willingly sacrificing yourself to be used for experiments because of this. And organ donating is a huge money pit. Like, you can make so much off of it as a hospital and a doctor by doing that. They don't actually care about you. And in this case, well, she's been signed up for euthanasia for a while now, so her organs have already been sold off to other people. Too bad. Deal with it now. No. And who cares? Like, I had to get my driver's license updated a while ago, and I originally had myself as an organ donor because back in the day I was just like, well, of course I'm gonna be organ donor. Why not? Like, I'm gonna be dead and somebody might as well actually utilize my organs anyways, right? Right? And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be taken off that list just to be on the safe side here. And because the person has to ask you, like, do you still want to be an organ donor when you get it updated? And I was just like, no. And they kind of like looked at me strangely, like, okay. And I was just like, yep, I don't care if I got my 5 seconds of judgment there for being a horrible, horrible human being and not want to sacrifice my organs, because if I get into a car accident, I don't want to be shipped away and put in an operating table just to be sacrificed there. Like, if I'm actually dead, that'd be great. But the thing about organ donating that a lot of people don't realize is that they actually need you to still be alive, so your organs are still functioning. You're not actually fucking properly dead when they harvest your organs. They still need the heart beating. They still need the blood pumping through the liver. And then it goes into a very special box to be taken away. In that case. So, yeah, get taken off the organ donor list. You're literally sacrificing yourself for nothing. In this case. And, well, and now this lady is dead. Can I have your liver? No. Unless my liver's probably shot. I'm not an alcoholic or anything like that. But it's probably shot because I'm an American just by default here. You have to make sure you're not on the database as well instead of just off the license. Oh, really? I haven't done that yet. I'm not sure if I care that much to do it. But I'm also of the belief. Now, with what's happening to this girl is absolutely tragic. I say what's happening. She's already dead at this point, actually. What? So, one take that I haven't seen except for myself. And I still have this take. But if I was in her position, I would also go ahead with this. Now, what's happening to her is actually tragic, right? Like, she was she was literally ripped away by her family because they had a highly contentious divorce. And the state decided, oh, well, your parents are getting divorced and they're fighting. Well, we're going to take you away for your safety here because the state knows best, right? The state knows best. And it's clearly not like her parents were like assholes or horrible people because they both, her mother and her father, even though they've been divorced, are actively opposing this and were suing the government for it so they wouldn't actually go through with it. It was just a bad, nasty divorce. Imagine how many kids would be taken away because of nasty divorces. Like, holy fucking shit, right? But daddy's state government said, no, we know best. We know better than this. And took her away. Put her in some state supervised thing for her mental health where she was raped by 11 men. And then after that, she tried to commit suicide. And then failed to commit suicide, became paraplegic. Yeah, I would want to kill myself too. Not only did I get ripped away from my family, but then I got raped by 11 men over a period of multiple days, and then I failed my suicide attempt, became paraplegic. Yeah, I would want to kill myself. Fully chat, if I was in her position, I would want to die too. However, her parents obviously still cared about her and loved her. And she clearly needed a lot of help. And the worst part is, the last few days she was having second doubts, second guessing it. Started having doubts about doing this thing. But she was being pressured in because her organs being sold off already. And that just completely, like, completely changes everything. Oh, that's the wrong tab. Right there. And just despicable. Absolutely despicable. Failed? It's really not that hard. Well, okay. I know that, it is not the best thing to say. When we're talking about a heinous case like this, and the girl is dead now. But, women are terrible at committing suicide. Women are just god-awful at committing suicide. And I'm just saying, get good. Like, when I turn 30, if I'm still single and childless when I'm 30, I'm just gonna use the gun. Like, gun. Gun. It has a 90% success rate, okay? Gun. That is the answer. If suicide is truly the answer, then the gun is the way to go. Now, don't actually commit suicide once again. You know, PSA, suicide bad, right? Right? But, like, women are so bad at committing it because they never use guns. They always try, like, overdose or something like that. And they never do their research on how much they need to overdose. And overdose takes a lot of time. And it's not a simple, like, bang and you're out like a gun is. Your body is rejecting the overdose, so usually you're, like, throwing up and choking on your own vomit and stuff like that. It's an awful way to go. It's a long process and can be easily prevented if you're caught in time, which is not that hard because of how long it takes. And the fact that you're, you know, choking on your vomit and everything like that. Like, it's like, women are so bad at committing suicide, it's not even funny. Like, I just okay, I say it's not even funny, but I have to laugh because it's just like they can, apparently women commit like super higher rates, like they commit higher rates of suicide, but they're not as successful because they don't actually use the effective way out. And I get that women don't actually have usually guns on them because guns are definitely more of a male interest because it is violent, and women aren't violent, they're more passive, hence why they're passive aggressive. And that's where the whole medication and stuff like comes out. But it's just an awful way. It's just an awful way to do it. And the thing is, I got so curious that I even asked Grok about this because I wanted to know the actual statistics of it. Just so how bad it is. Okay, so men, a percentage of male suicide, firearm is 60% with a fatality of 90%, okay? Woman, only 35. Only 35. Like, come on. Versus poisoning, drug overdose, etc. 29.6% versus 7.144% when it comes to men. Lower lethality. No wonder they fail. Like I probably shouldn't mention this when I'm talking about her case in particular. But don't jump off a building because then you become paraplegic and that makes your life worse, okay? Don't commit suicide in general. Suicide is bad. Things get better. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. Like, actually, unironically, it is true. When I was younger, like I mentioned my suicide notebook earlier, right? I was heavily suicidal when I was about 14 years old because of what was going on in my life. But thankfully, I had the internet. And I wasn't groomed. I learned from other people's stories on how things got better for them. I learned about how hormones work and how puberty works. And that it's actually normal for teenagers to go through severe depression in these cases. And I just needed to wait it out. Plus, I had my dog with me, and I didn't want to leave my dog behind. And so between those factors at hand, I was just like, okay, I just gotta suffer through this and get through it. Which I had my suicide notebook, so I would draw and write lyrics to kind of let the pain out. That was my way of coping for it. And then sure enough, life did get better. My mom died when I was 16. That made things a million times better. And then since then, it's, you know, there's been ups, there's been downs and different things like that. But now I'm a VTuber on the internet and life is pretty good. Life is pretty good. Life does get better. But when you jump off a building, that kind of makes your life worse. So, don't do that. Don't do that, actually. Okay. Yeah. I still remember a time when 4chan handed out exit bag infographic to suicidal anons. It was a different time. Like, okay, like, this is gonna sound really bad. I know how bad this sounds. But there are ways to be successful. And jumping off a building is not it. I personally plan to kill myself when I turn 30. But hearing this shit, now what a waste of time. I need to take down at least 100 rapists with me before I go. See, that's unironically the way to go, right? Like, a lot of troons like to shoot up schools because white supremacy or, you know, gay rights or whatever the case is. But, like, that's schools. Those are children, right? If you're gonna go out, you need to go out guns blazing. And yeah, you should go to, like, a prison. Oh, let me not go to a prison. You're not gonna get very far, right? Actually, you know what? Oh, I should stop while I'm ahead, because I realize I'm advocating to commit crimes, and, I'm already on thin ice with the suicide talk. Anyways, so you know how earlier I was talking about how I have two modes? Which is either I think inside my brain or I think out loud. And if I think out loud, there's no actual thinking before I speak, right? Because it's only two modes, right? There's no in between. There's just no filter. There's just no filter. Oh. Amal, you need to do a Rumble only stream to get this out of your system. Yeah, I don't know if the Rumble only stream is happening this month because of the vacation and everything like that. But clearly it's due. It clearly it's due. Fuck. Oh, speaking of the monthly shit, right? For those, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the stream. My apologies. But for the members on YouTube, right? If you're a Coop Strongest Soldier or higher, which is the majority of you, there will be a members only stream this Sunday at 1 p.m. Yeah, 1 p.m. is when I'm gonna make it happen. Eastern time. American Eastern time. It'll be before the vampire campaign at Arch's channel, where I'll be a Nazi cat girl. Maybe I shouldn't bring up the fact that I'm a Nazi cat girl. Literally role-playing when I was talking about suicide in migrant centers. But anyway, it will be before the Vampire Masquerade campaign that Arch is hosting. There we go. So yeah, check it out. I have a rough idea of what we're doing. Calm down before you hurt yourself. Sorry, I just thought of everything I said the past 10 minutes and thought, man, Icarus. That sun burns quite bright, doesn't it? I can feel it singeing my wings as I speak. But I got so bedazzled by the brightness of the sun and how it reflects on the waves down below and the clear blue sky that I didn't realize that my wings were literally falling off until it was too late. Oh well! All of this stream was a joke in Minecraft, yes. This entire stream was been about Minecraft and a final solution to the desert villagers. Yes, exactly. Anyways, so, where was I going with this? Okay. Here. So, these I haven't been playing the videos because they're in Spanish. They're in Sloppinish. Well, I'll call them actually Spanish because this is Spain, right? This is not the Mexican version of Sloppinish, right? With their tacos. This is legit Spain. White European country. Well, I guess it depends how south you go. But she's white. She's clearly fucking white. So, Spanish, right? And thankfully, one of my mods actually speaks Spanish. And no, he's not Mexican. Believe it or not. He's not actually brown. I know every right-wing space turns into Nazi femboys here. Which we do have a few. But he's not actually brown. He's a good kind of Spanish himself. And he translated this video for me. So for this one, I'm just gonna read this script. I'm not gonna play the. Well, I guess I'll play the video, but you're not gonna hear any. Here, let's see. I'll just kind of like talk over her. I'll turn the audio down quiet so you can kind of hear her speaking, but it's not gonna be. The timing's gonna be a little off. It's here, but that's what the video is actually playing. You know.
Me llamo Noelia Castillo Ramos.
Let's see here. My name is Molela Castillo Ramos.
Tengo 25
I have 25 years.
y
And I have 4 days left.
me quedan
Because basically, on the 26th, they give me euthanasia.
básicamente porque el 26 ya me hacen la eutanasia.
¿Has dudado alguna vez de venga,
Have you ever doubted this at any time? Like, okay, I'm going to stop this whole process?
para todo el proceso?
No.
Lo tenía muy claro desde el principio.
I had this clear from the beginning.
Es sobrecogedor.
Starling,
Es sobrecogedor.
it's startling this testimony of Noella. Today she gives this program her first and last interview after the tribunal. It approved her decision of dying. We will now see the advance of the conversation, where she explains for the first time and before dying her decision. Okay. The translation that I had is a little bit faster than the woman was speaking, but the point remains in this case. And I don't like, but in this case, she says that, you know, oh, well, have I ever doubted this any time? And she's like, no, I had this clear from the beginning. Because like I said before I really started flying into the sun, because Icarus was flying to an early grave, but if I would, like, once again, if my family had a horrible divorce, I was sent to a care center where I was supposed to receive, you know, treatment for mental illness for the horrible divorce. I get raped by 11 Muslim men over a period of multiple days. And then I fail to commit suicide and become paraplegic. Yeah, I would be pretty clear-cut about this too, personally myself. However, the difference is, well, the last few days she changed her mind. And her friends were also trying to prevent her from stopping as well as her family. Tomorrow it could be our daughter, you know. I mean, but a message, I have been an hour in the car. Noella, maybe can save a life. And I'll put that on. When they changed her center, I lost her. I lost her everything. I lost with her. I don't. Oh, this is going too fast. I have to see my girl the same way, please. For love, you can do it. Just 1 minute and that's it. possible. Have respect. Give her the opportunity. No, I cannot help you. This is not my place. This is going too fast. I can't read read this out loud. Playback speed reduce this like half, I guess, here. Basically this is her friend wanting to see her right before she dies. This was yesterday this happened. And they're not allowing her in. Okay, that's a bit too slow. We were best friends. Any lost content? They changed her center. They took her away and we already lost contact. We are going to Santa Olora for the cut. You wanted to see her today? I wanted to see her, and if she changes her mind, if not, we'll also be say goodbye. What have they told you? I do not know she can pass. It's just that they do not let us pass. They do not let us pass. And I come with my girl, who was also in a wheelchair, and no... Man, Jesus Christ. Jeez, look at this. The poor woman is just absolutely breaking up. I mean, her best friend's about to die, and she's not even allowed to see her before her die because they're scared that she's going to try to change her mind. Because once again, her organs are already been sold off. Her parents can't stop it. They lost the lawsuit because her organs have already been sold off. Noella herself has been having doubts the last few days, but she has to go through with it because her organs have already been sold off. And they're not even allowing to see her friends before she passes because they're too scared of what they're going to say. It's already set in stone. Your body has been... This is prostitution. Like, her body has been sold off. Has been pimped out by the state and the hospital. To go to God knows who. To be used. This is prostitution here, and that's supposed to be illegal. But because it's about organ donating, and it's a noble and honorable thing to do because you're gonna die anyways. Like, the state's okay with it. No, it's not prostitution. This is actual livestock. Okay, well, yes, I guess it is more like livestock than prostitution, because prostitution obviously has the sex connotation with it. But I was going from the angle of the fact that her body, her body, multiple organs of her, have been sold off to be used by other people. And literally sacrificing her in the process. I came from the hospital of Santa Olera, and I took the children to school earlier to be able to say goodbye. I'm surprised they actually let her take him out of school. I know Britain, and obviously this is Spain, right? Different countries. But I know Britain in particular has very strong rules on how often you can actually take your kid out of school. I'm not sure what the case is in Spain. And she changes her mind. She's been there a lot. I'll not bother you anymore. You left her a letter, no? I said I left her a letter. In case she can see it. At least be able to talk with the mother. See if they can enter some way, even just me. And see if I can meet her. Her body, her organ, buyer's choice. Yep. I had... Oh, and if you want another harrowing video about this fucking situation, here is apparently footage of Noella Castillo Ramos being actually removed from her home. Now, I'm not sure if this is when she was being sent to the center. Actually, no, it says March 4th of 2026. So... And this is being passed around. It is the internet, so it is hard to see. Like, this could be AI, this could be fake. Take it with a grain of salt. The timeline doesn't really match up because it's March 4th. I highly doubt she's been in the hospital waiting to be committed for euthanasia this entire time. when it was yesterday that was the date that she was supposed to pass. And in 2022, that's when she got sent to the shelter and being raped. So I'm not exactly sure. This doesn't fully line up, in my personal opinion, but supposedly this is the footage for it. In this case. And once again, it is in Spanish. So most people are not gonna be able to understand it. However, once again, shout out to Slightly Blue Namad. The good Spanish. The good Spaniard. I mean, he's not actually Spaniard, he's like Chilean. But he's still, he's still white, so he's okay. For translating this. Like, they're in the streets. You're taking away my daughter. Ma'am, I know. Then the grandma asks if he's a parent. Then the guy tries to say something, but it's cut off in the video, so we don't know, at least on the clip. The last thing it says, without much remedy, in Spain, they can abduct your child within the law, and then it cuts. So once again, take this video with a grain of salt. Doesn't really seem to line up timeline for me personally. But regardless, even if this isn't about Noella Castillo Ramos specifically, the fact that the cops came in and abducted someone, because apparently the audio does say, like they can abduct your child within the law before it cuts. So it is a case of some similar situation happening here. Absolutely fucking tragic. Like, this is the words confound me in this case, cuz like, what are you supposed to do in this situation? The state comes in with multiple policemen you can see in the background and literally go in and try to abduct your fucking kid. And no matter how much you scream and cry at them and beg them to stop, they're just gonna do it anyways. They don't fucking care because the state has complete control. Which, it is what it is. Like, the only way you can really do it is like a Ruby Ridge situation where you try to like fight against it, but even then you're gonna get mass murdered by the state. Like, there's no recourse for this. And if this is truly the video of her, well, she's dead now. She died yesterday. And this isn't a video of her, then whoever the poor girl is that's being abducted by the state, I hope she's fucking okay. Because, well, the first time Noella Castillo Ramos got abducted, she got raped by 11 men before she tried to commit suicide. It's just absolutely fucking horrendous. Absolutely fucking horrendous here. And this is happening in Spain. But, like, there's obviously Maid, right, in Canada. Maid gets taught a lot here in the West and in America, because Canada's right next door to us, right? And if I remember the statistic correctly, it's like 95% of Maid patients, which is their assisted suicide within Canada, are white. Because it's all white people with depression there. And so even though I totally understand why Noella Castillo Ramos wanted to do this, and if I was in her position, I would want to do the same. State euthanasia is such a fucking slippery slope. I can't advocate for it. Even though I'm sympathetic to it, I just can't advocate for it. Because you have the situation in Canada where they've expanded it so much that they're just doing it like candy. And you got depression, just kill yourself. That's literally how it just fucking works. You just go ahead and end it, I guess. But that's awful. And then to do it to the extent where in Spain, where they literally are kidnapping you to do it, has a whole another level of just vileness to it all. And this can't become common. This can't become normal whatsoever. There needs to be some heavy pushback against this. This is just... And the thing is, I don't think even most normies even agree with this either. Especially when they hear stories like this. Right? It's like, okay, a lot of people are actually okay with euthanasia when it's like, an 80-year-old, person that has, stage 4 cancer, been battling it for years, in immense pain, that kind of situation. They just want to just want to end it and just go to peace, or like that makes sense. To like somebody with that's sympathetic to their plight, it makes sense to just let them just die in peace, right? Instead of being in this immense pain and dragging it out for however more months or more years it actually is. But then you hear cases like this, and it's just like, nope, this is literally just a slippery slope. It's not something I can really advocate for in good faith because of this reason. Even though, if it really was just 80-year-old patients with stage 4 cancer, then I'd be okay with it. But it's not. No one wanted this, no one voted for this, but democracy just kind of does that sometimes. Yeah, it's like the EU, for example. For the Americans that don't know, the EU constantly has referendums on different policies, and the EU is extremely overregulated. The only good regulation they actually have is about their food, which is great. For America, we don't have enough regulation over our food. But everything else are overregulated. And whenever they want to pass something and the people don't want it, and it fails, well, guess what? Just try again. Clearly, you didn't vote hard enough for it. And so the vote fails. They get their push back, and then they wait a few years and they try to bring the vote again. They've done the same thing with digital ID, and then internet safety restrictions. The different censorship stuff they do that for. And it basically that's the EU. That's the prime example of that happening. But the US does this too. You know what? You have to manufacture a situation where people are okay with this, or you just force it through, because fuck what the people want. Who cares? A lot of people are against legal immigration these days for good reason. Who cares? We're still gonna let them all in. Just go ahead. Thank you, Clarky, for the $2 reduce. Thank you. Beautiful one world government. Disavow the words of this dragon wolf thingamajigger. She wants people to suffer. Runs commercial of little old lady unable to find voluntary euthanasia clinic. To be fair, there's some things I probably should disavow that I said earlier. But, yeah, we'll run that commercial. Oh, speaking of commercials, you know what? If you want... Okay, I shouldn't say that because I just said disavow anyway. You know what? If you have cancer, chat, if you have cancer and you want to end it all, then I have the solution for you. I personally, Amalgamyte, at your service, have the solution. And it's called Dragon's Treasure. With code Amalgamyte, from me personally to you, you get 10% off your order for your tea, soap, and coffee needs, as well as these new focused drinks here to help sharpen your mind. And this will cure your cancer. If you get the soap, because I highly recommend the soap, okay? The Dwarven Fire Forge is a fan favorite. Don't ask me how I know. Bezos with the 50 bars. I personally like the 3 Wives Men and the Ray of Helios. See, these have cancer curing agents within the soap. The same with the coffee. I hate coffee, but I can't attest to it. But I've heard good things about it. The tea is fantastic. One day I'll try the focus drinks. That type of deal. Here is the real cure for cancer. And this will stop you from wanting to kill yourself from government assistance. With code Amalgamyte for 10% off your order. For obvious reasons. Really not biased whatsoever. Oh, no kickbacks, nothing like that. I am a pure and innocent doctor. I am not overprescribing any medications for your depression, so you can possibly heal yourself that way in whatsoever. I just like the wholesome soaps. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. Chemotherapy never tasted so good. True. Maybe I should give this to my aunt. Maybe I should give my aunt Dragon's Treasure soap so it can cure her stage 4 cancer that apparently she's got. I learned that when I got back from vacation. Order 250 times bars soaps using code Amalgamyte, and T-Man will come with a shotgun to solve your cancer problem for you. That is true. T-Man does have a special vendetta against 2 members of the community because of how much soap that they bought. I'm not even kidding. He's had a couple crash outs because of them. It's fantastic. Please order more soap that make T-Man suffer. So this tea will kill us, or is it medicine? I'm confused. You won't know till you find out. You won't know till you find out, after all. Yeah. Oh, and to make things even better about this, Noella... Oh, what's her full name? Noella Castillo-Ramos situation. Here are 2 different articles about her situation. One by the British Broadcasting Company, BBC. Spanish woman to die by euthanasia after long legal battle with father. Makes it sound like her father was some abusive asshole and she just wants to take the easy way out after how horrible he's been to her. Or Sky News, the famous right-wing Nazi outlet. Gang rape victim, 25, dies by euthanasia after father's legal challenge fails. I love reporting. I love news outlets. They're such dirty spear measurements. It's not even fucking funny. And the thing is, Sky News has definitely shifted more right over the past few years, but like I never considered Sky News to be actually specifically right-wing, especially when it comes, like, it's only Australia that seems to be better in that case, and even then it's still like a little bit iffy. Which is a night and day difference. Night and day difference for how they're reporting on this. Oh, this horrible abuse of fathers, you know, and she just wants to kill herself to get past the dealing with him. No, gang rape victim, 25, died by euthanasia after her father tries to actually save her from the euthanasia thing. Jesus fucking Christ. Because the more you look into the story, the more harrowing it actually gets. Like, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And then, like, somebody even, like, offered to save her, too. And, nope. Wasn't possible. Wasn't possible. And an email with a contact, and then so-and-so, forth. Okay, I'm gonna... this so I can get out loud. I know it's last minute, but is there any amount of money or support I can offer directly to Noella and to her family to help her postpone her decision? Or perhaps with a very significant amount of money and support, she could start rebuilding her life little by little. I'm willing to offer everything within my power so she can receive the physical and psychological help she needs, no matter the cost. In the meantime, tell her I have a large apartment and 2 cars, and I'm also willing to pay for rent in Barcelona for her and her mother. Which, this is a very generous thing for someone, some anonymous person to do. I will say the whole I have an apartment and 2 cars seems like a flex of some sort, being like, hey, you could marry her off to me. Which is arguably a little bit insensitive to me in the situation, but I mean, hey, if he's got this much money that he's willing to pay for rent and get them a new home and literally do whatever the cost is to make sure she's okay so she doesn't get, you know, killed literally by the state, you know what, hey, I can't blame a man. He's actually trying. He's actually trying to make her life better because the story is so harrowing. Psychological and psychiatric help from many therapists. For you, Noella, these are my final words if you're watching me, just in case you want to. It's very moving. Yolanda, honestly, to hear me, because I know you're watching me. The last thing I can do for you is to help you come to terms with it. If you can come to terms with it without anyone taking that euthanasia away from you, if you can come to terms with it and you want to do it, I'm here with you. There for the bad times and for the very good times. I watched this before stream, and it made me tear up a little bit because it's just so many people are reaching out to the family and to her to try to prevent this from happening because of how horrible the situation really is, and nothing could be done. The organs have already been sold off. They stopped her friends from seeing her in the hospital. No amount of money could make them change their mind. Even though her parents tried their best and lost the lawsuit. Even though Noella herself changed her mind the last few days. Nothing. She's gone now. She died yesterday. And the thing is, like, she's paraplegic. But supposedly here's a video of her getting better. In this case, but once again, supposedly it's her. It looks like her. It has the massive font of whoever posted this video first. In this case, but like, supposedly this is her. You know, slowly getting better and going through treatment and everything like that because she's supposed to be paraplegic. So not like she wasn't putting in the effort to make her life get better even before deciding for euthanasia. But obviously, the emotional and mental scars that she has from being gang raped by 11 fucking Muslim men, are different than the physical pain that she's got to actually go through, in this case, to actually learn how to walk again. And then here's apparently a video of her with her father a few years back too, doing that little like guessy thingy, whatever case is. I'm not gonna play the audio because it's just music here. Supposedly this is her. Once again, does actually look like her a bit. And she's just laughing and hanging out with her dad. Don't know if this is before the incident or not, but she's gone now. And the thing is, she's not the only one. She's not the only one who's been gang raped and wanted to commit suicide in Europe. Because once again, despite how tragic the situation is and how it should have been reversed, the fact that her organs being sold off is the reason why it wasn't being preventable. Well, to be fair, probably the state would probably still stop her anyways because they make so much money off of this. But there's another case of a Dutch girl, Milu Verhoef, who was 17, euthanized in 2023, raped at age 13 and at 16. Her parents put her in a mental hospital and later called the euthanasia doctor. So, but in both cases, they were put into a mental hospital. I'm not gonna say insane asylum in this case, right? Because in their stuff, it's like depression, which I don't really think you should be going to a mental hospital for depression unless it's like severe and you're actually trying to kill yourself in that case. But both of these girls didn't try to kill themselves until after they got raped, and they got raped when they're in the hospital. And these Muslim men are being put in these hospitals because they have low IQ, they're lying about their age and acting like they're pretending that they're minors, to scam more government benefits there, and they have no other place to put them. As we know, like in Britain, for example, they're just buying up hotels to stuff them in there, and then they just rape the patients, the actual genuine patients at the mental hospital, because it's free meat. Literally, these Muslim men see white girls as meat. I'm not even exaggerating or joking. It's within their religion. These girls are infidels. They are whores because they do not cover up and because they're not Muslim. And so therefore they are the enemy, and the best way to demoralize and weaken your enemy is to rape their women, because you're showing that how weak they are. Because if you're a man, you can't protect your woman, then you're pathetic. Everybody knows this. And then you just can't do anything about it. It shows how strong you are by doing it. And so you just have to sit there and you take it as your woman completely get raped, and they become very broken. And it shows that you as a man are a failure. It's a great demoralization tactic, and is one that was very common throughout human history. But we as Western society has, more or less evolved beyond that. and be like, okay, yeah, rape is bad, at least when it comes to our own woman, right? And have outlawed it and disincentivized it, and we're overall a better society for it. The rest of the world is not the Western world. The vast majority is a shithole. White people are only 8% of the population. The other 92% actually enjoy rape and celebrate it. And when you import the third world, you become the third world, and you get cases like this. Now we have 2 girls who were put in the mental hospitals and then have been rapes. And they've decided to go with state-sanctioned suicide because the amount of pain that they were in from being gang rapes. And the case of Noah Castillo Ramos, also becoming paraplegic from the first original suicide attempt. Which is too much. This is too much. In this case. He's walking here? Well, the thing is, depending on the severity of your physical illness or whatever the case is, her being paraplegic, she's obviously going through physical therapy and using the little thingy there to help her walk. And so she can actually, you know, not rely on the wheelchair as much. If this video is real, I think it is. It looks real enough to me. The AI is ridiculously good. And you can see how her legs are fucked up in that frame, for example. But, you know, when it is close to your end of your life, here, you know, yeah. So, I could take it kind of with a grain of salt, but supposedly she was actually trying to get, at least for a time period, she was trying to get better. But when you're so mentally scarred, so emotionally scarred, and you look at your life and you don't see a future, because I mean, let's once again, absolutely tragic this happened in the first place. But if I was in her position, I would want to do the maid program too. I would want to do euthanasia as well. Because I saw somebody in chat mention, okay, like if you're in position, like what's your future in this case? You've been raped by 11 men, 11 Middle Eastern men, and rape is absolutely horrific. And it's not just with Middle Eastern men. It's not just simply penis and vagina. A lot of these men are extremely graphic and violent with it. You can hear a lot of stories from the Pakistani rape gangs in Britain where they're shoving up broken glass bottles of vaginas, or guns, knives, other objects in this case. And that's in the vagina, and that's just, oh god, that's, awful to think about, as a vagina owner myself. But then they also, like, you know, they burn cigarettes on your body, they choke you out, and not in the kinky way, in the very violent, I'm gonna kill you way, right? And this is happening all in the course of, like, multiple days, with 11 different men. Now, I'm not saying in this case with Noella Castillo Ramos that they went that extreme on her. But when it's not just simple penis and vagina forced rape that it is in the West, where obviously it's being shoved on you, they are graphic. They are heinous, because once again, they don't see Western women as women. They see them as meat, as playthings, as toys. They can do whatever they want because they're not actual women. They see them as sluts. They're infidels, sacrilegious because they're not Muslim. They can do whatever they want just for shits and giggles. It's like how you can hear horror stories from American men who are going to the Middle East just shooting at camels just for shits and giggles. There was one story I heard where a guy just decided to do a bazooka at a camel just because. But, you know, which I think is horrifying because of the poor fucking camel. But to them, it's just fun and games while they're out and at war. Same thing for these Muslim men. This is war to them. They are coming and invading the Western world and taking it over and are literally ruining our women in this case. No wonder she wanted to commit suicide. She failed. And then she made her life worse. And it's just like, yeah, what's the future there? What's the future there? What do they gain from that? Just sadistic pleasure. Because keep in mind, they're Like Muslims, the Middle Eastern men have higher IQ than the rest of the world because they are lighter skinned. And skin color does have correlation with IQ. But we're still talking, and I guess also depends on where in the Middle East as well, and what kind of Muslim men, because there's plenty of Muslims in Africa and they're horrible, right? But lower IQ means lower impulse control. You don't think 15 seconds ahead. You don't think about the consequences of your actions. You only care about the pleasure in the moment. And you're a lot more animalistic. Excuse me. Very animalistic. In fact, actually, I have a video. If you're not black-pilled enough, here is a wonderful video showing an example of how they literally just can't think of the consequences. Now, these are actual blacks, not Muslims, but roughly the same idea.
Some of them, they're not screaming. It's like they wanted to be raped, you see. She also grabs you, you see, no more
like
crying.
She's like, enjoying it, you know,
see.
even though she isn't, but it's like she's enjoying it.
Do you think it's right? Do you think it's right to rape?
Yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong.
What about the
I like how these blacks recognize that, like, yeah, rape is wrong, but they're also kind of justifying it because they're like, we probably shouldn't say this on TV. They're aware enough that they have to say no. But the interview gets worse.
Consequences of what you're doing in terms of how that affects the person that's raped.
Yeah, the consequences, we look at that all the time, you know, because it happens, she might scream, you know, people might wake up.
Okay, so like I notice he says we. Now I could be a bit unfair here because he's obviously foreign. You can tell basically on his accent and well the fact that he's not white. And so there might be a language thing, but like, yeah, we think of it all the time when it comes to rape. The consequences. She might scream. She might wake people up. Not about the girl and herself and what could happen there. No. Other people being aware that they're raping.
People,
I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about the emotional effect, the physical effect it has on the girl.
Yeah. Sometimes we know that we might rape her and wake up tomorrow with viruses ourselves, like HIV, you know.
What about
we might rape her and we might wake up tomorrow with STDs. Not thinking about the girl at all and the consequences there. No, we might get an STD from her.
Regretting what you've done to the girl?
I also do regret about it, because if she fell pregnant, well,
his reaction is priceless. No, he's just like, are you fucking serious? Like, he's trying to be like, okay, what about the girl? What about the girl? Yeah, what if she gets us an STD? What if she's pregnant? We have to deal with the fact that she might give us an STD or she might be pregnant. Then we're gonna have to deal with that crap. We don't actually care about the woman being raped or whatever. You know, even though the guy said earlier, yeah, rape is bad. I'm pretty sure he said rape is bad just because of the consequences that affect the men. They might be thrown in jail. They might get an STD. They might get her pregnant. Not because the damage they're doing to the girl doesn't matter to them at all. At all.
Well, what will be that baby's father? Who will be that baby's father?
But what about her personal feelings?
And who will be that baby's father? So now they're talking about gang rape. Because if you rape a woman, it should be pretty obvious that you're the father because you're the only one that did the rape, right? But no. Who is the father? And the other guy was saying we over and over again. They're talking about gang rape, which is a million times worse than regular rape. Because, like, okay, from a Western white country, right? It's very hard to actually find a rapist, but it's always one man. Imagine you, random person in chat, right? Going up to your dad, your brother, and your friends and be like, hey, wanna go rape this girl? Hypothetically, of course. Hypothetically, of course. For legal reasons. They're gonna look at you like you're fucking insane. They're gonna give you the wide eyes, like, what the fuck? Those, like, they're, what? They're gonna call the fucking cops on you for that fucking shit. Because it's abysmal for doing so. But in these third world backwater countries, which is, by the way, the vast majority of the world, once again, white people only 8% of the population, and they only consist of America, Canada, Europe, and Australia. Okay? The rest of the world, this is normal for rape. Rape is good. And they do it with other men. And just the awkward silence too. When I'll replay this since I paused it.
What about her personal feelings?
What about her personal feelings? 3 seconds of awkward silence, and you can barely see them because they're so dark. But you can see this one guy looking over at the other guys, being like, what are we supposed to say here? Personal feelings? I can't think about her personal feelings. Like, and the thing, I'm not even joking about the fact that I can't even imagine her personal feelings. Like, this is literally an IQ problem, where if you have too low of an IQ, you can't even imagine yourself in other people's shoes, which is a Western phrase. And put yourself in someone else's shoes. It's where you take a hypothetical situation and you try to imagine what the other person would feel in a very specific scenario. It's a hypothetical. It's actually a high IQ move to be able to do that. It requires over 100 to be able to do that. By the way, the average IQ for white countries is about 100. For the rest of the world, that's a sharp decline. The Middle East is in the 80s. Africa can get as low as 45. India is around 75 for their average IQ. And South America is a fucking mixed bag with how clergy they are. Like, they physically, and I can't stress this enough, they physically, mentally, cannot actually imagine themselves in someone else's shoes. They cannot actually imagine the other girl's feelings. That's why they keep on focusing on the STDs. Oh, she gets pregnant. Oh, the screaming and crying. The physical reactions that occur, the physical consequences of the rape. Not the hypothetical emotional ones, because they literally cannot think about the woman's position. And that's the vast majority of the world. And that's what we're importing. And that's what this poor Noella Castilla Ramos had to deal with when she was raped by 11 men in a mental hospital. And that's what we keep on bringing more in. Everyone talks about the Pakistani rape gangs in Britain. And those are heinous and those are awful. But what a lot of people aren't aware of is that we're still importing these people into the United States. Because obviously I am American. I mostly focus on American politics. I am an Anglophile and a Europhile in general. So I do like talking about British politics from time to time. As well as like European things as well, right? So I see the Western world as one big bubble. Obviously, culturally, we're very different. Linguistically, we're very different. And we're each to our own. But as the whole entire Western world is being invaded, thanks to globalists and tiny fucking hats, they're doing this on purpose. The Great Replacement is not a theory. It's happening in real time. And this is part of it. This is part of it, where our women are just being raped. And it's happening in the United States. Dearborn, Michigan is completely taken over by Muslims. Texas has been taken over by Indians. California by Mexicans. New York City is just a fucking hellhole of God knows whatever mystery meets in there. And it's the rest of the fucking world, chat. And we're importing them in here. Which is why we need remigration. We need remigration. Mass deportations with a moderate solution. Because the more we import these people, the worse it's gonna fucking get. And no one even mentioned the Cologne, Germany 2012 mass rape. Yeah, I was thinking about that recently, actually. Because I was talking with a fellow, a European there, about, like, the differences between Europe and America. And I was thinking about Cologne, Germany, because I remember that fucking awful story. There's the mass rapes there. And then I look at Cologne, Germany on Google Maps, and it's such a tiny little town. For me, the American, right? With our vast quantities of land that stretches from sea, literally from sea to sea, and how big our towns are, and like, and the fact that like some towns are small, or considered small in America, but they're quite large compared to Europe. I look at Cologne and it's just like, huh? You're telling me mass rapes happen there? Jesus fucking Christ. Actually, looking, I love looking at maps. I love looking at geography and terrain. It's one of my favorite pastimes. I know I've been mentioning it a lot recently, but that's because of the fact that I traveled recently, and so that's what I was doing on the plane ride, right? But I just looking at it like from a satellite image of it, and Europe in general has like it has fields, obviously, but it's just dotted all over with little tiny towns, and like there's like you get like there's very little space between each town. There's a lot of fields and countryside, yes, but there's so many towns dotted within it that it's there's very little break actually between the individual towns. It's quite a crazy thing to see as an American, personally myself, because here in America you have the city, then you have the suburbs, and then you have country for hundreds of miles in some cases, and in other cases thousands of miles, especially when you get to the plains and like the desert regions. It's just endless vast amounts of land. Europe that doesn't exist whatsoever. And so you look at Cologne and it's just like, Jesus Christ, mass rapes happen there? But it's not even that big of a town. I mean, it's big, don't get me wrong. Like, it actually is decent size. But like, it's like a mid-sized town compared to like America. It's crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy. Huh. If it continues with radicalization size like that, I can see the US split up in multiple countries in the next 20 to 40 years. Not immediately, but over time. Oh yeah. When I was an SJW back in the day, I believe there's going to be a civil war. And now that I'm far-right extremist, Nazi cat girl, actually kind of literally in the case of Arch's campaign, I still think there's going to be a civil war within my lifetime. No, there. So, it's just how things are gonna break up. Do you have a fun time playing American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator too with all the maps? Probably. Oh, but I love looking at maps. It's fascinating. Like, other than becoming a college professor, a college history professor, one of the other things I wanted to do when I was younger for the longest time is being an oceanographer. Specifically oceanographer, not a marine biologist. Oceanographer. I wanted to study the ocean. But I also thought about going into, like, geography and geology. Well, not exactly geology, because I wasn't interested in specifically, rocks themselves. But I just always been fascinated by nature and how it works. And I just love it. I just absolutely love it. I'm completely ignorant as for the different bits and bobs and details of it, so the scientific word and stuff. But as an observer, you know, a low IQ observer, I like it quite a lot. Look at them all comparing sizes like that. Listen, all I'm saying is bigger is always better. Bigger is always better, man. Anyways, it is that time. My gamer words here. My apologies there. I will see you guys tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. EST. Right now, the plan is to start 13 Sentinels Aegis room, since that's been on the chopping block for a very long time now. To get started. And so that's, I haven't done a game stream in forever. Well, I guess there's Resident Evil with Temp. But yeah, it feels like it's been forever since I've actually done a game stream. So that is the plan for tomorrow at least. And then Sunday will be the members only stream on YouTube, and then on Ko-Fi if you're also, or Discord if you're part of the Ko-Fi memberships instead. at 1 p.m. EST, and then after that, I should get it pulled up. I should get it pulled up. On Arch's channel, we'll be playing the 3rd episode of the Vampire Campaign, where I'll be playing as a Nazi vampire. Arch, I don't want to see Arch stream. I want to pull up his channel. I'll be playing a Nazi vampire. There. Let's see. This is the 2nd episode. In that case, and that'll be at 4 p.m. EST. So speaking of Arch, I will be sending YouTube Bros over to Arch's channel for his live stream, and then Kick Bros, I'm gonna be sending over to Kirsha. They're both political, but stay on topic and follow the rules. Don't be too spicy. I know today was a pretty black pilling, all things considered, though the laughing at the tranny was lots of fun. Okay, so make sure you follow the rules. Don't be too spicy, all that fun stuff. Stay on topic. Thank you for all the subby puppies, donos, and vigorous spankings, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Have a good night. Bye. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye.
I mean, hey, if Pac-Man affected us as kids, we'd all be munching magic pills and listening to repetitive electronic music, am I right?